Sports Center.
NFL turning to league business has rescinded Texans running back Joe Mixon's $25,000 fine on appeal for supposed post-game comments in the divisional round of the playoffs. The numbers are in for the Super Bowl, and Nielsen says that the Eagles-Chiefs game set a new record with 182.8 million viewers. That's now including the streaming numbers. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Morning Huddle. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm AJ Hoffman, joined as always. Look at this fella to my left.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Rob Thompson. Hey, applause.
Settle down. I'll be here all week. Notice my desk is clean. I was told that my area is too. My area on the panel here. See,
Who told you that?
My wife.
Oh.
She said that she could see things there that probably shouldn't be seen.
Did you tell her to mind her business?
I was like, I leave porn out on the top just to keep me interested, you know?
Yeah. Keep you awake.
That was it.
Yep.
Feeling better today, though.
Good.
I am.
You're moving around better?
I am.
You opened the door for yourself?
I did, which is a huge step.
How long did it take? Did it take till this morning? Or
Well, no, I'm still not back.
Okay.
Are we going to do some camera adjusting?
Yeah, just a little.
Okay.
Is it me?
No, it's not you.
It's me.
That is better.
I'm the problem. It's me. I look good right
Yeah,
there,
you do.
baby.
You look good.
I got a little too much above my head, but we'll worry about that later. Yeah. We'll worry about it later. There's like I don't know. I like it when you focus in on my face, Vic.
We all appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, when it's mostly face.
Yeah, good face. He gives good face.
I give great face.
So I did the regimen yesterday. I did the on the ground with my knees up. I did the lacrosse ball, and that helps, man. If you ever got lower back spasms, do the wall sit with a ball and just kind of do like a bear scratching his back on a tree. And oh, man. So between all that and the muscle relaxants, had a good night's sleep, feeling better today. But we were thinking about going and walking the rodeo grounds today. I don't think that's going to happen.
It is the kind of cold it is today is like a mean cold.
Yeah.
Like it's
the weather was angry this morning.
Yeah, it hurts you, man. Like you walk, like you can feel it in your bones.
Well, you made a tactical error.
I made a grave mistake.
So you kind of served your purpose.
I made a grave mistake because when I got to my car this morning, I cranked it up and it said fuel low.
What's that red light on?
And I was like, okay, maybe I've got like 30 miles to E or something. Nope, 13 miles to E. Oh, man.
This is when you wish you lived in a state where you couldn't fill your own tank.
And
Jersey and was it
Oregon?
Oregon.
And the problem with it is where I live in the city, there's no gas stations.
It's odd because you live over the recharge zone, and the cost to build a gas station there is just too much. It just costs too much. So like you're in a desert.
The HEB doesn't have a gas station. There is. If you go. I don't know. I think there might be one gas station in like if I go 2 or 3 miles in any direction, there's one gas station.
And they've been there. They've got grandfathered in because they were there before all the environmental regulations.
Yeah, it's at 1604 in Stone Oak.
That Exxon's been there for 30 years.
It is the only one, and it's a pain in the ass to get to. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, well, I got to make it down here to our HEB, close to the office, which I did, no problem.
It's open.
It's the gas pumps are open,
but there's no attendant.
No
They're
attendant.
Just open. Oh.
Yeah. So, but
that's the zombie HEB.
Yes, and there were zombies gathered there,
skittering around.
They weren't moving. They were They were zombieing in place today. It was they maybe were frozen to the ground.
Man,
I don't know.
I feel bad for those stuff.
I do too.
It's awful. But anyway,
but just and this is me. Like as I see people huddled up, like trying to keep each other warm, I'm like feeling sorry for myself having to get out of my car and pump it full of premium gasoline. So I get it. It's first world problems.
well, you should have woke them up and given them $10 and a blanket. Fill my car up.
But that was like.
Did you ever consider like maybe just $5? I'll just put $5.
I thought about
that's
it.
all I'm going to do is just $5. I'll get in later.
But here's the thing, like I started the pump and then I got back in and I'd had my my seats warmed all the way up. My car, I put the heat up to 80, so it was like I was hotboxing. So I got back in the car and I'm like, oh. So I'm like warming up again.
And then you hear the click.
And yeah, it took me a second after I heard the click to be like, okay,
right.
I guess I'm going to go.
When you got to gear up for it, like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll be quick. All right, first thing, grab
So,
it,
like,
put it in, close it, get back in.
Put in $5, that would have taken away warm time from me. I couldn't imagine that.
Now, I would have probably left my car running.
Yeah.
I think that's frowned upon. I know it's frowned upon, but I don't think it's as dangerous as people say it is.
And here's the other thing. I mean, I was the only one there. Well, I guess those zombies were there too, but I think if the gas station exploded, it might have warmed them up. Like, no, but it's not like I'm smoking or anything.
I don't know. I would have probably left my car running.
I thought about it. I don't know, man. I'm one of those guys. I've always been so weird because as someone who has been to jail a couple times, like I'm oddly a stickler for rules and like
it's the military time you spent.
Like and I'm oft afraid to do certain
you say
crimes.
Rules, but if you live in like Montana and Minnesota, they don't turn their cars off. It's -5, man.
I know.
They also went up there. Have you ever been where they have to plug their car in when you park it? They have a heater on their block to keep it from freezing.
No,
Literally, you park your car. It looks like a Tesla.
How is that America?
I know. How is that America?
If anything, Canada should annex that part of us.
We'll just give you Montana.
Yeah, why are we holding on to all this stuff? Like,
we'll trade one of the Dakotas.
Yeah,
You pick one.
We can afford to lose
We can
one.
give one for Greenland. We'll just trade one. Idaho, you can have Idaho and one of the Dakotas. We'll take Greenland. And
why do we want Greenland? It's cold there too.
well, evidently they got a bunch of minerals. Maybe everything we need to build batteries. They seem to have some of the stuff.
I don't need that many batteries, honestly.
Well, the Greenlandians.
I have a pack of AA, a pack of AAA. I got one in my car, and I'm good, man.
We'll give them a Dakota, Idaho, and Delaware, and we'll take Vancouver, just the city,
Okay.
because the food's good, and Newfoundland.
Newfoundland is that battery area?
No, but
Why
it
do we
just
want
sounded
Newfoundland?
Good. I don't know. It just sounded good.
Okay.
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland.
You Newfies will be United States citizens now.
No, I don't want any.
You don't want any of the Newfies?
I don't want any Canadians,
All right.
honestly.
Well, then we'll take their hockey team tomorrow night.
Well, tomorrow
We'll show them what's what.
we're gonna give them the old business.
Blame Canada.
Yes. I got a good. I say I got a good feeling about tomorrow. I saw some good news today that it looks like Brady Tkachuk and Austin Matthews are going to play. That's good news for America. We're going to need to be full strength, but I don't want to lose to those Canadians now, especially there's been a fight. Like, so Jack Eichel, who plays for the Golden Knights, the last game he was the only like star player remaining.
So he's the Canadian.
No, he's American.
Okay.
He's American, but he said after the game, he said, "This is this game coming up against Canada is probably going to be the most important game I've ever played
Isn't
in."
that nuts? And we're kind of like, yeah, it's Thursday night. We'll tune in.
This dude he won the Stanley Cup. Like, and he's like, "This is going to be the most important game I've ever played in my life." That's crazy,
Isn't it?
man. This is what they replaced the All-Star game with.
And they did it right. The legend of that, the dream team that practice game, which is the greatest game ever played.
Uh-huh.
You know, the legend of that game. And it's the one where the players cared. You know, like literally this is one of those things that from now on, every time I see you, we're going to bring this up. And all those hockey dudes, this is it, man. Every time I see you for the rest of our lives, this will be a topic of conversation.
Well, and they're in locker rooms together.
Yeah. I mean, literally, this is – I get it, but I don't. I've never been a part of anything like that.
No.
You know, that literally, I know that what I do tonight will, you know, to steal a term from Gladiator, will ripple through time. Like literally tonight will change whatever the destiny of my persona at the end of my life. Tonight's a pivot point, and very rarely do you run into that and know you're running into it.
I think it's very much like on a much smaller scale, but like when these kids from Texas who split ways after high school, one goes to Texas, one goes to A&M, and then they play each other. Like they're going to talk about that if a lot of those guys remain friends, and then
that's even more important. It's the friendship.
Them.
It's not the hatred. Shoot, I hate a lot of teams. I hate a lot of dudes. I beat them. I never see them again. Why am I going to talk about it?
But like for Vegas, like probably the two best scoring forwards for Vegas are Mark Stone, who's the captain, and Jack Eichel, who's the best player on Vegas. One plays for the U.S., one plays for Canada.
I love it.
And you know they're going to be talking for the rest of their careers. They're going to be talking about this.
It matters more than the Stanley Cup.
Isn't that crazy to think about, man?
I wish I was a part of something that mattered like that.
Right.
It almost raised the hair on the back of my neck just thinking
because
about
all those guys, like, it's like how guys talk about the Super Bowl or whatever. It's like you play for that trophy. Like I think of Kevin Garnett holding, or Michael Jordan even holding that trophy and crying on it. Like,
because basketball, we didn't have anything like that. All we have was this. We don't have this international kind of America thing.
Right.
It's just not something I'm
especially
familiar
back
with.
then it didn't.
No.
Now it's starting to exist, and that's what it could be. Like I think about that Stanley Cup. I mean, the fact that every name of every player who's ever won it is etched into it.
Right.
Like the idea, if you grow up playing hockey, I would imagine that's like the ultimate goal. And now they're like, oh yeah, this is way more important than that. That I love that. I already can't wait for tomorrow. Like that's I am vested in that game. And I know, again, I'm sure people on the brigade bar are going to say, hockey, why are you talking about hockey? It's stupid. I'm not talking about hockey. I'm just talking about like international sport.
And it's that unifying idea that I think every now and then our country kind of needs to tune in to, where we all root for one thing no matter what.
I think there's a reason why that Miracle on Ice is like one of the 5 great sports moments in American history, and it's there's no
because we don't have that.
You can't name a player on the teams. Like people don't care. It's still there's something to it. Well, I mean, most people
Mike Ruzioni, Jim Craig, baby. I can still remember their names 50 years later, baby.
Were they huge stars at the time?
They didn't even go to the NHL.
Right, but I'm saying
oh my gosh, Ruzioni was selling cereal. Jim Craig. I
love that.
It was huge. And keep in mind, we had 3 channels of delivery then. We had TV, radio, and newspaper. That was it. And you only had 3 TV channels, 1 newspaper. I mean, there were no. For things to be big, they were huge.
So for you to know Jack Ruzioni, Mark Ruzioni, in San Antonio, Texas.
Think about that. In 1980.
It took work.
Oh, well, it didn't so much take work. It was all we had. We had 3 channels. And for hockey, we're watching hockey in South Texas.
I don't mean work for you. I mean, like, there was clearly, it was such a big deal that TV, radio, and newspaper were all talking about.
That's all there was. It was wild. All there was. I can vividly remember showing up we had early morning weightlift practice the next morning. And our coach, our weightlifting coach, I was on the basketball team, but our coach was a football coach. And all he talked about was how remarkable that was. I can still see him talking about it in that sweaty gym because it was America. I mean, we did it.
And this isn't that because...
No, but it's as close as I can remember the international kind of thing. That and, soccer. I mean, but,
I wish the Canadians were Russian. Because I'd like that better.
It's the kind of thing that we don't hate the Russians. I mean, we hate the Russians. So you beat them,
I kind of hate them.
You just go, I hate them, and I'm never going to like you because these are, they're like us. We're going to go play them. They're going to buy a Molson's, and we're going to buy, a Miller Lite and sit down and talk about it afterwards, and it'll never go away.
Well, and also you knew that all the Russian players' families were being held hostage at the time, so you felt a little bad, but it's like, well, hey, man, sorry.
And if they had an opportunity, they were going to jump off the bus and take refuge here. So we felt sorry for them. This is a battle amongst family. It really is. And I wish it was bigger, and I wish it wasn't on a Thursday night. I wish there was some buildup and there was some more care to it, because I get the sense we're in for something pretty spectacular tomorrow. I really do.
Are you locked into it?
I'm dialed in, ready to go, man. I'm listening in the morning. I'm reading that. I'm checking injury updates. I didn't even know. I thought the Chucksters. I thought it was father and son. That tells you how plugged in I am.
They're two brothers whose father played. And what's funny is there's like in like the 90s, he got in a fight in an international game.
Maybe that's why I thought that, because I was like, Chuck, I remember that name. Yeah. I thought that was like, and I even turned to you. I said, man, it's pretty amazing that father and son are doing this.
No, different.
No, brothers.
Yeah,
are you
brothers.
kidding me?
Vic, are you going to watch?
Nah.
Oh, come on. America.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to be asleep.
What if it was Mexico versus Paraguay? Would you watch?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
it'd be funny if it was.
You're such an anti-American. All right, we'll be back. Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like we do have a new trouble spot on 1604 eastbound at Bitters. We've got a stall broken down in the right lane. On 410 eastbound Palo Alto, southwest side of town, that stall also taking up a right lane. And we're still working this accident in Leon Springs on I-10, eastbound Bernie Stage Road. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sports book, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com and join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure, dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow. With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
George gets justice.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson from my good friends over at Prize Picks. Hoops are here, baby. It's time to turn the page and start playing games we can win. And now you can win up to 1,000 times your money over on Prize Picks just for doing what you love, watching basketball and picking those that you like. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on sports action. There's over 10 million of us doing it. You should be there too. And right now, there's no better time to get in on the hoops action. If you think Steph Curry can get more than 5 3-pointers this week, now's the time. Is the freak going to get 35? I don't know. I do know this. Plus, I feel comfortable Wemby's going to get a couple of blocks. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5, and you don't even need to win. You can receive a $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And have you ever played Taco Tuesday? That's right. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks offers promotions that can lead to big payouts. Here's how you play. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app, use the code ALAMO, and get $50 instantly after you play your first lineup. Prize Picks. Go run your game.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Guys, if you ever spend time on social media, you'll often find yourself just being hit with bad news and worse comments, and you'll see how everybody's life is so picture perfect, and they've got this great job promotion, and you're wondering, man, where am I? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing. Imagine how you'd feel if you just spent 45 minutes focused on how you're doing. That's what they're about at Cerebral. They make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. And the best part, Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. If you're dealing with stress, anxiety, you want to be more present and focused, you want to sleep better, you want to have better relationships, you've got to work on yourself. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs. Just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important, and Cerebral's here to help you build a strong foundation for your overall being. So take the first step today. Visit Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for mind time.
With basketball season in full swing, make watching the game a little bit more exciting with your chance to win money with Underdog, one of the leading sports apps, and you can play in Texas. You could win up to 1,000 times your money with Underdog, playing the pick'em game where you pick higher or lower on predicted stats. You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right on your pick'em entry, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Yep, turn $1 into 1,000 with your hoops knowledge. Download the Underdog app and sign up using my promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
For decades, Rudy's has been serving Texans incredible barbecue. But they've also been a community champion as well. And now when you visit any of their 4 San Antonio locations, just make a $10 donation to the Puppy Food Bank. And you'll receive a certificate valid for $15 in free barbecue and 2 soft drinks. So do the numbers. That's a $22 value for just $10. You'll enjoy great barbecue for less, and Puppy Food Bank can save more pet lives. Thank you, Rudy's.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, we got a chance to meet all the Cowboys' new assistant coaches. How's Matt Eberflus going to use Micah Parsons?
And who is the new offensive coordinator? Can you name him? We'll hear from him. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
'79. Cool kids never have the time. Ask me what time it is, Rob.
Yeah, you are of an age.
I don't know. I don't know what time it is, Bubba. I'm a cool kid. And we don't even care.
So I hear generations all angry.
Despite all our rage, we are still just rats in a cage.
Yep, see? Your generation's all cranky.
In the words of this same fella here. Well, yeah, my favorite band growing up was Rage Against the Machine.
See, y'all just upset.
We are, and listen,
Whole generation of angry people.
And I mean, in hindsight, we were kind of right.
You deserved it. I mean,
it turns out we were angry for a bunch of right reasons.
Yeah. My generation didn't know how to.
You guys were acting a fool. And,
well,
somebody had to say something.
My generation's not really your parents. We're like your older brothers.
Yeah. You guys are both like an in between for me. You're like you're almost like my my youngest uncle.
Yeah, we're the uncle that screwed everything up for you.
Yeah, you're not as old as my parents, but you're too old to be my sibling.
Right.
So you guys are in a weird thing for me, but anybody like 10 or more years older than me, I blame for all the problems in the world today. Like you guys,
you should.
And Vic, you less. Mostly, I blame old white people.
Yeah,
I contribute. Contribute.
Old white men have really done a number on this place.
Yeah, I do believe, and when we finally can look at it in the prism of time, that this whole greatest generation is a bit of a misnomer. I think we were gonna, when we look back on history, that the greatest generation, while they accomplished a lot, left so much of us in a lurch.
You're talking about like World War II types?
I'm talking about those that made this country what it became right about 75.
Okay.
Those that were born about 1940.
Okay, I see.
When I think of their parents,
when I think of the greatest generation, I think of like my grandparents.
Then
okay.
I used a misnomer. The greatest generation's kids.
Okay,
that one.
Yeah,
the boomers.
No, yeah, not so. They're
screwed up just about everything.
Yeah, they didn't do a great job.
Yeah,
but that's all right, man. Everybody makes mistakes.
Well, I mean, an entire generation left us where we sit.
Yeah, is that you or is that of a different?
No, I'm right there on the edge, quite frankly. I'm not of that generation, but I was born in '65, so I'm a Gen Xer, but I am the oldest of the Gen Xers.
I am the youngest of the Gen Xers.
See, that just shows, and I think, and you're right. So we share a lot of the things, but I'm so much closer to them than you are. Because I had friends, and that had lost their parents and lost their father in Vietnam.
Yeah,
that's my generation. So I grew up in turmoil.
Yeah,
and I'm a product of that.
And your dad was serving in Vietnam.
My father was in the military, not in Vietnam.
But
we
he
were
served
in Europe.
during Vietnam, yeah.
We were in Europe and kind of insulated from that because all the unrest in the early time, in the late 60s, early 70s, I was in Europe.
Yeah. Wild times, Bubba.
Well,
Wild
it changed
times.
it, but I blame a lot of it. I don't know how we got here.
I don't either.
I don't know.
You were making fun of the music of my generation. But it turns out that, like I said, those guys were all right.
Yeah.
They knew.
Yeah.
They knew what was coming. They knew what there was plenty to be upset about. I was watching some college hoop last night.
You gave me an interesting number. Top 25 on the road.
Top 25 road teams last night went 1-9 straight up.
And I will bet that if you look over the annals of time and look back at this time of the year, as now we're doing the comeback. Everybody's played a team once. Now you're going on the road or coming home and playing a team again. That we're going to run into this. That now there's film on you. And some teams lost games early and they're better now. That it's going to be very difficult for those middling teams to hold on. We're going to see a lot of losses. I think A&M was a classic example of that because
they got drubbed.
They got drubbed because, well, quite frankly, they're making the turn. They're coming back. Mississippi State knows how to beat them. They know their weaknesses. We saw BYU Kansas last night. BYU curb stomped Kansas. I mean, they're not that much better, but they know what Kansas's problems are, and now everything is now exposed. If you had an open wound early that was starting to scab over, now they're pulling the scab off, man. You are who you are right now.
UConn got lucky. They were down big to Villanova.
I thought it was over, man. Liam McNeely must have blown up in the second half because I didn't see it happen.
Yeah, and when you'll see the final score, and it says they won by 7 points. I mean, they were down with like 3 minutes to go. Like they were still losing with 3 minutes to go. Villanova was putting it on them for a good majority of the game. This game was tied until 2.5 minutes to go.
It was 17 points, I believe, when I tuned in. Probably early second early in the second half. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, it was at least 13, 14 points. I don't know if I saw 17, but it was up there. But again, a home crowd can carry you. And there were some games. Texas Tech, who's a top 10 team in the country, got beat by TCU, who stinks, last night on the road.
Tuesday nights in February.
The only team that won on the road last night in the top 25 was the University of Houston, because nobody's game travels like the University of Houston's. They are a metronome. They do what they do, and good luck trying to stop them. And they don't get too high, they don't get too low, which that's a hell of a quality to have.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be able to do it in March.
They should. They've got every weapon yet again.
But yeah, they got an 80-65 road win. Of course, they were playing Arizona State, who also stinks.
I saw a little bit of Florida Vanderbilt. I forget who they were putting it on. Oh, it was OU.
Florida was OU, yeah.
Oh, boy. Let me tell you, Florida, they're the best team in the country. Right now, they're number one. They're the best team in the country right now.
We will find out shortly.
There's a gauntlet to be run by everybody in the SEC. But right now, as we sit, I think they're the best team in the country.
Florida did win at Auburn, which is probably the best win anybody's got all year. Auburn's the consensus number one team, per all the analytics sites. Right. But Florida went there and beat them by 9 points. Florida's remaining schedule is generally forgiving. LSU, Georgia, two of the 3 or 4 worst teams in the SEC, and then they've got A&M at home. And we talked about yesterday how they're a bad matchup for A&M because they're going to score, and A&M, there's no way A&M can keep up with them.
Right.
And then there's a game Wednesday, March 5th. Mark your calendars, where the Florida Gators will go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to take on the Crimson Tide, and that is going to be a game, son. And then they'll close out with Ole Miss. But, they got a dude in Walter Clayton, I think it's Walter Clayton Jr.
Yeah, the guard.
Who is damn near as good as anybody in the country this year. They are. I didn't expect them to be nearly this good. And I think Todd Golden, who they've, kudos
North Carolina needs to fly down and hire them some Todd Golden.
They probably should. And kudos to him, or kudos to Florida for they got him out of San Francisco, University of San Francisco, where it was a Gonzaga league, and he made them competitive in a Gonzaga league, a Gonzaga St. Mary's league, and made them like a top 25-ish program out there. And they said, well, we'll take a chance on a guy like this. And every year since, they've gotten better and better. And this year, they're there, baby.
He's a program builder. They're top to bottom solid. They bring in 5 stars. They keep the appropriate dudes. They don't lose transfers.
They play on both ends.
It's a top of the line program. And Golden is I'm looking for their AD. Scott Strickland has an eye for basketball coaches.
Scott Strickland. That sounds familiar. That name.
It's the AD at Florida. I'll check his history.
I don't know, but either way, yeah, hell of a job by him. The schedule for tonight is we've gotten now to where Tuesday's the big night. Tonight, Alabama's at Missouri.
That's going to be a good basketball game. Don't sell this game short. Missouri's got stung at home, and they are a solid basketball team. Only problem is they're not very deep.
Now, the question is, Alabama's better than Missouri.
Oh, by far.
But do you want to take a chance on the road? You know what? We're behind. I'll hit a break. We'll talk about the games coming up later. It's Morning Huddle 94.1.
Dr. Jacob Torres is my physician. I first met him as a weight loss doctor, but as I walked into the Institute for Functional Health, I found out that place is so much more than that. See, Dr. Torres takes a personal approach to the way he treats his patients. I've gotten to know him over the years. Now I call him a friend, and not only doctor, but pal. It's because he's had my best interests at heart. When you meet a guy whose only ambition is to make sure you are living better, you can see it, you can feel it, and you can see it in their patients when you walk in. Everybody's in a good mood because things are working. And that's why he's been so successful. His patients come and they talk about it like I do with you. See, I walked in there feeling awful. I was nearly 300 pounds, overweight, and overtired, and didn't know how to get out of it because I didn't do one thing awful. I did a lot of little things terribly. And that's the little things that made the difference. And Dr. Torres not only corrects the little things, but he puts you on a program that you can live with. And I know today with the options that are out there, there's lots of shots you can take and pills you can swallow and lose a bunch of weight. But can you live like that for the rest of your life is the question you need to ask. After 8 years, I'm down nearly 70 pounds, continue to stay on the program. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm certainly happy with where I'm at, and I can stay with what I'm doing. If you're ready for that, call him today. The number's 210-468-1891. His website is iffhealth.com. Do yourself the service of going there. Read through it, answer the questions he asks, and then call Dr. Torres and find out what I know. Change your life. You can lose weight. You can do it. Trust me, I did. You can come by and thank me later once.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like we do have a new trouble spot on 1604 eastbound at Bitters. We've got a stall broken down in the right lane. On 14 eastbound Palo Alto, southwest side of town, that stall also taking up a right lane. And we're still working this accident in Leon Springs on I-10, eastbound Bernie Stage Road. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. The one and only Rich Eisen is on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
When life changes fast, you need a lawyer who's been there. AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks offers unique experience as a veteran and first responder to give you a strategic, results-driven approach. Facing divorce, child custody battle, or a complex family dispute, the Hicks Law Firm offers flat-fee representation from beginning to end, so you know exactly what to expect with no surprises. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win. The Hicks Law Firm.
The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. Don't miss the 2025 State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships. Witness the nation's top dunkers and sharpshooters battle it out live in person. One epic night of unbelievable skill and electrifying energy. Thursday, April 3rd at the Frost Bank Center. Tickets are going fast. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. See you April 3rd for the State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships. The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. One night, pure action. Don't miss it.
Hey, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Progressive's AutoQuote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in a parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box, or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
If you're tired of drinking the same old beer, good news for you, friends. Karbach Brewing has you covered. They've got something for everybody in their lineup. No matter what you like, they can improve on what you've been drinking. Whether it's a Hopadillo, a Love Street, or a Crawford Bock, they've got something for everybody. Karbach has one of the leading IPAs in San Antonio, Hopadillo IPA, an iconic Texas IPA packed with the bitterness of hops from around the world that the hop monster craves. And one of Karbach's leading brands, the top seller in San Antonio, in fact, is the Love Street Blonde. It's a state of mind, a San Antonio state of mind. It's a Kolsch-style blonde, hopped delicately with floral German hops. This beer has the clean malt profile that you're looking for. And if you're used to drinking cerveza, they've got that as well. The Karbach Cerveza Especial is right for you. Like I said, something for everybody. And when you're in Houston, make sure you go check out the brewery, check out all the beers they have on tap. But while you're here in San Antonio, you want to try something new, why don't you try out a Karbach?
Do you ever scroll through social media only to find yourself bombarded by bad news, hot takes, picture-perfect families, and yet another humbling professional update? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing, but imagine how you would feel if you spent 45 minutes focused on how you are doing. At Cerebral, they make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. The best part, Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. In fact, 72% of people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. Cerebral makes mental health care easy, accessible, and more affordable. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs, and just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important, and Cerebral is here to help you build a strong foundation on your overall well-being. Take that first step today. Go to Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for Mind Time.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm behind on spots. Vic is freaking out.
Yeah, it's all right.
Well,
we're
sometimes spots are very necessary.
What are we doing? Why do you keep you keep talking and I keep giving you the break sign? You don't listen to me.
Why are you talking?
Well, see, in FM, everybody has the I got to go to the facility song, like Aqualung, The Days of Music Died.
Yeah.
Any 5-minute song.
No, November Rain.
November Rain. It's like you had 7 minutes.
Yeah.
To hit that, so you could go hit the facility. So whenever little behind the scenes stuff, whenever you hear an FM jock overnight play a long one, that's what's going on.
Okay.
Exactly. Or a nap.
The nap, food delivery.
Maybe that should be me.
So we don't. But see, we don't have the luxury of playing Aqualung.
What? Why not?
Well, I mean, we can't play 5 minutes of it.
Well, like, can we just play the flute solo?
Well, the best part. Isn't that the whole song?
I think that's mostly what it is.
What's that band? Jethro Tull.
Mostly what it is. We're going to talk some more college hoops because
we love it.
Well, yeah, but also the committee has named. They do this throughout the season. This is the first though, where they name their projected top 16.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're wondering where your team would be seated right now. They've got an idea, although now 24 hours later, it might be outdated.
Yeah, this is going to be a rather radical shift from week to week with this thing.
There's a couple teams like I'll tell you now. They had when this list came out, it had Kansas as a 4 seed. Kansas ain't a 4 seed. Kansas is they're safely in the tournament. They're not a 4 seed. Kansas is a brand name only because nobody's looking at them as like, oh, we got to really worry about that team. They suck.
Yeah.
They don't suck like North Carolina sucks.
No, they're not good. But I'll tell you this. I don't put any stock into anything until conference tournament time.
I mean, I think that's the time.
Now we'll talk about it. We've already brought up the fact that only one road team in the top 25 won a game last night. It's a 1-8, 1-9, something like that. And that's a crazy number. It won't be like that. But we are at the turn, and we're going to see a lot of change because there is no dominant team this year. There's 4 good ones.
Yeah.
There's 4 really, really good ones. There's not a single great. And then there's about 15 teams that – so you're saying there's a chance, that given the right term and health and matchups that we could have one of those Final Fours where we're learning a lot about schools and new coaches because there's that many teams that are capable of getting there. I don't think it's going to be as weird as in the past, but we do have a lot of mayonnaise spread pretty thin. There's just not one great team out there.
All right, we'll talk about this more on the other side. Morning Huddle 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hi, I got hurt in a wreck, but I don't know if it's really worth getting an attorney.
Don't worry, you called the right place.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7, and you don't pay unless we win. We recently secured a jury verdict for $210 million in a wrongful death case. So if you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon.
Call 656-PURE Connecticut.
At Round Table Pizza, our signature ingredients like made-from-scratch dough, our 3-cheese blend, and toppings all the way to the edge create your perfect pizza. Try our new pepperoni, grilled chicken, and bacon pizza, available for a limited time. You can enjoy a large for only $19.99 at participating locations. Plus, pair your pizza with our irresistible shareables. To find your nearest location or to order for pickup or delivery, head to roundtablepizza.com. That's roundtablepizza.com.
Are you facing divorce, a child custody battle, or a complex family dispute? AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks brings unique experience to the table. As a veteran and first responder, he knows the challenges, he knows the pressure, and he knows how to fight for what's yours. The Hicks Law Firm offers flat-free representation from beginning to end and payment plans so you can get representation now. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win.
Want to burn fat and build muscle at the same time? M-Sculpt Neo at Dr. Connie Heyer's Plastic Surgery and Med Spa does just that. It's a non-invasive treatment that sculpts and tones with zero downtime. Call 210-494-8446 or findyourbeautiful.com.
With basketball season in full swing, make watching the game a little bit more exciting with your chance to win money with Underdog, one of the leading sports apps, and you can play in Texas. You can win up to 1,000 times your money with Underdog, playing the money pick'em game where you pick higher or lower on predicted stats. You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right on your pick'em entry, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Yep, turn $1 into 1,000 with your hoops knowledge. Download the Underdog app and sign up using my promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Girls, rock your boys. Rob made a big purchase during the break.
Amazon's a wonderful thing.
Bought an iron.
I did, a good one.
What?
I bought an iron.
Just right now?
It's got automatic shut-off and steam.
Dude, speaking of
retractable cord into the iron.
Automatic shut-off. You know what happened to me last night?
Your curling iron, you left it on?
Yes.
You burned your neck.
I had a kind of a sad meal last night. I ate I got some garlic bread from H-E-B and one of their pre-made fettuccine Alfredo bowls.
Oh, yeah.
Those aren't bad.
Those are good.
I mean, for what you're getting.
For what you're
that
getting.
is a sad single guy meal.
So I cooked the garlic bread, like, you cook it in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
So I ate it, and I was, I went to bed and wallowed in my loneliness, and I woke up this morning. Of course, it was cold. My heat was on, but it was like I don't like to sleep hot, so my heat was on like 72, 71.
72.
Yeah, so it's like it's only enough to like not die. But then when I got into the kitchen to because Blueberry was bitching and she wanted her fancy feast,
her morning first breakfast.
Yeah. Yes, she wanted breakfast.
Her first of 8 meals of the day.
And she gets so like she doesn't want me to put my pants on. She's like, before you do anything.
Yeah, you can do that later.
I don't know how you live with that, man. Dogs have their own issues, but that's.
She's like, dude, right now. I said. So I go in there. And I go to give her fancy feast, and I'm like, wow, the kitchen's really warm. Yeah, I left the oven on all night.
There you go.
All night.
What?
Yeah.
I've done that before.
I don't know what that'll cost me.
Well, see, I have a gas thing, so, it'll cost me in about 6 months when I have to get it refilled because I have one of the propane things. But
yeah.
That's like, well, that sucks.
Mine's electric, but it was like.
Yeah, that sucks.
Your electric bill will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like, I mean, it's probably about what it would be like at Christmas time when I was baking cookies nonstop.
Well, I told my wife, I had done this over the holidays, and I'd accidentally left the oven on overnight when we were baking cookies. And I said, it's kind of like, it's gas. It's kind of like I was like smoking a brisket. If I was doing the gas would have been on, or if I'd been using a smoker or something like that all night long. So I don't feel too bad, but yeah, it's such a fire hazard. And you walk in, you're like, oh my God.
I could have died last night.
Oh man. Have you actually turned on the oven and looked in and there's something that you forgot was still in there?
Oh, that's happened before. Plenty.
I've done that.
Oh,
yeah, I've
God.
melted a bunch of
Oh, yeah.
One of
the handles off of.
One of the biggest fights my wife and I have ever gotten into. This is when she was pregnant the first time. We were in an apartment in Austin, and my buddy was over, and we were playing Madden and getting schnockered. We were like lighting Bacardi 151 shots on fire, and we were getting housed, and she was like, I'm going to bed, you guys are idiots, and of course then we start watching a movie, and I decide I'm going to cook some pizza rolls, some Totino's pizza rolls. And
fall asleep.
We proceeded to pass out until the fire alarm went off, and of course she comes out pregnant, pissed off, like
you're drunk on the couch.
Yeah, with a almost an empty bottle of 151 and a lighter, and she's like, the fire alarm's going off. What did you expect me to think? Like,
sorry, honey.
And I was like, I don't know what happened, babe.
Will you turn the alarm off? I'm not ready to get up yet.
I think the oven's broken.
There's something on fire in the oven. Will you turn that off?
There was like 15 little charcoal briquettes in the oven.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, my stupid ass Are any of them good?
Since you're up, honey, can you go pick up some?
Like, are they still kind of pizza-y in the middle? I don't know. Like, no, they're not.
Keep it down. I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Like a lava rock.
Not wise, friend. Not a suggested, recommended move. All right, that's 1 hour in the books. We'll get to that top 16 release on the other side of this break. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs. No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sports book, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com and join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson from my good friends over at Prize Picks. Hoops are here, baby. It's time to turn the page and start playing games we can win. And now you can win up to 1,000 times your money over on Prize Picks just for doing what you love, watching basketball and picking those that you like. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on sports action. There's over 10 million of us doing it. You should be there too. And right now, there's no better time to get in on the hoops action. If you think Steph Curry can get more than 5 3-pointers this week, now's the time. Is the freak going to get 35? I don't know. I do know this. I feel comfortable Wemby's going to get a couple of blocks. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5, and you don't even need to win. You can receive a $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And have you ever played Taco Tuesday? That's right. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks offers promotions that can lead to big payouts. Here's how you play. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app, use the code ALAMO, and get $50 instantly after you play your first lineup. Prize Picks. Go run your
game.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Our heaviest delay is through the downtown area. We are working an accident 35 northbound Brooklyn Avenue and northbound 35 at McCullough. 2 left lanes blocked in both of those accidents. Also, that ongoing road work at 35, lower level southbound Main to Cesar Chavez has got the roadway reduced to 2 lanes, so it's definitely slow through downtown. And in Leon Springs, we've got a wreck at I-10 eastbound just before Bernie Stage Road. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
NFL turning to league business has rescinded Texans running back Joe Mixon's $25,000 fine on appeal for supposed post-game comments in the divisional round of the playoffs. The numbers are in for the Super Bowl, and Nielsen says that the Eagles-Chief game set a new record with 182.8 million viewers. That's now including the streaming numbers. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ah, yes. Second hour of the program. You know, I always said program, and then Pat McAfee came and took that. Now it's his, and now I sound like a knockoff Pat McAfee.
What?
Program.
I didn't know he said that. Is that an Indiana pronunciation program?
I think he's like, and he actually, like, when he, on his little chyrons, it's like, this program. And I'm like, oh, man. That was mine before you were even, when you were kicking footballs for a living, boy.
You were just dreaming of standing behind a mic.
Yeah.
But is that an Indiana pronunciation? Isn't he like corn-fed program?
But I don't even.
Get me a Pepsi and a program.
Program?
Program.
It's program.
No, that's, my papa said program too.
I'm going to say program too.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess just kind of, maybe it's a country thing. I don't know. But Pat McAfee has absconded with it. And now I'm like the knockoff when I say program.
You know, the Brits call what we do being a radio presenter.
Oh, really?
Do you like that?
I do
You're
like
a presenter?
that. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what do they call lawyers? Solicitors?
Solicitors, yes.
I don't like it when I don't like when I'm called an announcer.
Yeah, I'm not.
Or an MC?
Well, people always tell me, "Are you a DJ? You're a DJ?
Oh, yeah.
You're a radio DJ?"
Kinda.
Like,
do you celebrate National DJ Day?
Yeah,
because we don't have a National Radio Presenter Day.
No, we don't. We should, but we don't.
So I celebrate along with those FM jocks.
That's the time, yeah. But what are you going to do?
Celebrate's a broad term.
No one cares about our.
I stretch my right hand out, and I bend it at the elbow, and then I pat.
committee revealed the top 16 earlier this week, and
are they breaking it down into top fours? Like we're going down to the 4 seeds. All right.
Yeah. So that's the way they've done it, and I think the way I don't really know if this is like I don't know how often they're going to do this.
I think we're going to get it weekly.
Okay.
I think they're trying to mimic college football to kind of build anticipation. It's not really going to be the same because there's just so many games that teams play. You know, in football, you can give the ranking, we play again, you get another ranking. Now you give a ranking, they might play 3 games before you get another ranking. So it never really has worked, but I get the idea.
So the top 4 seeds in the sort of bracket peak there's no real surprises in the top 4 because it's mostly the SEC. Auburn, Alabama, Florida, and Duke are the 4 teams. They're saying Auburn is the clear number 1. They were a unanimous choice. And you know what's going to be really awkward? Bubba Cunningham is the guy who's talking about this. He is the committee of the chair this year. You know, it rotates every year. His full-time job is the athletic director at the University of North Carolina. And there's going to be a real decision to be made on North Carolina on Selection Sunday, and it probably ain't going to go his way.
You know, in my experience, those guys, they have to leave the room. When they discuss their particular institution, they're not even allowed in the building or in the room. So he's going to leave the room, and everybody's going to go, thumbs down.
I didn't realize that.
Are they in? No. Okay, he can come back in.
I didn't know that. Yeah. That's funny. The 2 seeds, Purdue, Houston, Tennessee, Texas A&M.
I think there's going to be radical change at 2. I would not be shocked that other than
2 of those teams lost basketball games yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think a single one of them will be a 2 seed. Not a single one of those teams will be a 2 by the time we get there. Because those are the teams. Now read them again.
Purdue down arrow.
Down arrow. They lost at Michigan State the other night. You like them because senior leadership at guard, so you get them some love. A&M can't shoot. We saw it last night. Tennessee can't shoot. I mean, not that they can't stay at number 2 or get back to number 2, but that's why they're there. I think the biggest flux, those 2, those
Houston's the other one though.
Houston could be a number 1 seed.
They could.
Their arrow is up.
I think so too. 3 seeds: Iowa State, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Arizona.
Hottest team in there is Wisconsin, and
Wisconsin's
Arizona
on fire. Yeah, I like them. I don't know about Kentucky. Kentucky plays no defense.
They show up to shoot, they'll beat you.
And then the last 4: Texas Tech, Michigan, Kansas, and St. John's. Kansas ain't one of the 16 best teams.
No, they're
I'm
not
sorry,
going to
man.
be there. You don't lose by 30. I don't care who you are, where you are, and claim yourself to be even a top 25 team. To be anything more than maybe a 6 seed would be overseeding for them.
Teams that they're saying are in the discussion. Michigan State was discussed a lot. They are the ones who beat Purdue yesterday. My guess is maybe they're in the conversation next time. And Marquette, who got a blowout win yesterday. Of course, it was over Seton Hall, so I don't know if it even counts. But they were in conversations. But they're saying that this is actually the lone mock bracket reveal of the season. So they're not going to do this again.
Good.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to be too much variation. You just talked about it. 2 of the 2 seeds lost over the weekend or lost last night.
I think the way to do it is just look at the the bubble watch things, and
that's all you can do. And in basketball, because there's such variation, you have so much more control over things. As far as you do control your own destiny. There's enough games, so no matter where you sit today, you can play yourself to a 1 seed, or you can fall completely out of the tournament and be playing on one of those strange ones in the Caribbean at some point in March. So long way to go before here and there. And I don't like the idea of the seeding. My goal this year, I want to see a Final Four of nothing but SEC teams.
It's entirely possible.
I think as a SEC member, and as they try to, piss in the corner and claim territory, this would be the time because they are the premier basketball conference, and they have the wherewithal to do it, and we haven't seen it in a long time.
Now, the problem with that is it might be it'll be chalky.
It'll be chalky, and, and you know that it'll depend on seeding and locale, and it depends on how things shake out in the conference tournaments, but more importantly, the committee, where they're sitting on how they want this to shake out, because you brought up Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo is the beneficiary every year of the friendliest seating you can get because everybody loves Tom Izzo. It's a good story for Tom to play for 2 games. So, yeah, they might be a 4 seed, but, a 4 seed can be a number 4 team in the country, or it could be a number 16 team in the country, depending on how you look at the 4s and how they spread them apart and where you're putting them. And Izzo is always the recipient of friendly seeding.
Benefit of the doubt.
It doesn't really show up. I mean, the team might be equally ranked and might even have more wins, but the committee's no fool. They know matchups make fights, and they always kind of shade it toward Michigan State. So there's that kind of thing that plays into it.
I think there's going to be teams that are dangerous that people don't really realize are as good as they are.
I have 2 candidates there. We saw one last night, and we've been talking about it's St. John's and BYU right now are the 2 teams that I think when the brackets come out, everybody's going to go, oh, that's not such a tough draw.
BYU is going to be they're very bubbly. The win last night helped a lot.
That got them in. I'm telling you, that win last night got them in.
I'll tell you a team that I would be scared to play is University of New Mexico. New Mexico's won 18 of their last 19 or something like that. They're on a crazy run.
Mm-hmm. Nobody's seen them.
Nobody talks about them. Nobody even says their name. But meanwhile, there's teams like Gonzaga who have struggled all season, but people just assume, well, it's Gonzaga. They'll win some games in the tournament. They'll be in the Sweet 16 because they're there every year.
Normally they're right.
They're there every year. But I think they could be dangerous. I think that there are I am very cautious when I say this. Well, you mentioned Wisconsin. I think they deserve that discussion too. Very cautiously, I'm starting to think Clemson might be good, even though I've said all year long there's only one really good ACC team, and there's probably only going to be 3 ACC teams that make the tournament, which is it's crazy how far that league has fallen. But Clemson's starting to look like they're pretty damn good.
I'll withhold judgment.
Okay.
They're big and burly. I mean, they're just going to beat you up. And they can shoot, so they do have some help, but they're slow. So that's what I'll withhold judgment on Clemson.
And then, I mean, you mentioned St. John's. It's just hard for me to, they remind me a lot of A&M.
Well, yes.
They're in Tennessee. They're tough. They rebound. I don't trust them to score every game.
No, but the thing about BYU and St. John's is nobody's seen them. I mean, you go, well, I see a couple of decent wins until you actually see them and go, you know what, that's not a bad team. You better look out, and they're good for different reasons.
Yeah.
And watching what they did to Kansas last night. Now, granted, Kansas has their own issues, but what BYU is capable of, they did everything that they're capable of last night, and that is a Sweet 16 team. If they play like that, they're going to beat some teams, and they're going to send somebody home who expected to be playing here if they play like that last night. Now, they're not going to play like that every night. They're not going to get a soft team like Kansas, but it just goes to show those teams that are floating around in these giant conferences that we're not paying attention to are going to end up 7, 8, 9 seed and beat you.
There's another team, and you talk about a team nobody's seen in the Big West, UC San Diego. They're the Tritons. It's they haven't even been a program for all that long. And they're sitting now at 22-4, and 2 of their losses came in their first 4 games. But they are top 50 KenPom in both offense and defense.
I don't even have to look at their roster, and I can tell you they are stocked full of juniors and seniors from other places that have won. You can just tell by the record.
They're rotation guys.
Yeah, every one of them.
The guys who actually get minutes for them: senior, junior, senior, junior, senior, sophomore.
Those are the guys.
Sophomore.
Those are the teams
regular
that
minutes.
win you money weekend 1.
I'm telling you
Those
now.
are the teams that look at their senior leadership at guard, and if they got it, they're going to win you money.
All right. We'll talk some more college basketball later in the show in the Daily Lines. I got to talk to you about Karbach Brewing. My good friends over at Karbach making some of the finest beer in our great state of Texas, and they have lovingly placed it all around San Antonio, Texas. As Rob gets up and limps away, I don't know what's going on with his body still. Karbach would probably help with that too. Whether you're into the IPAs, you want a bitter, in-your-face IPA, super hop-forward IPA, Hopadillo is your answer. If you want something a little more balanced, the Hoplectic, which is their seasonal IPA that's out right now, a delicious and very, very well-balanced beer. You can find that all over the place right now. I'm a big fan of the Crawford box, Ziegen box all over the place. They've got 12-packs now, 12-pack cans of that. And Love Street is their best seller. That's their blonde-style Kolsch that you could find pretty much everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I'm not just talking about H-E-B or the liquor stores. I'm talking about your bars, your restaurants, all over the city. You might be thinking, oh, they're not going to have that at my bar. They probably do, friends. So when you're out and about, when you're enjoying the games, go ahead and ask your bartender, please make it a Karbach.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure. Dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow.
With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Guys, if you're not feeling like yourself anymore, testosterone therapy may be the answer. Look for the VIP treatment like you'll get with the TRT experts at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenics has over a decade of TRT experience. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com.
Right now at North Park Chevrolet. Own a new 2024 Silverado Crew Cab posted at $33,999 or lease for $0 down and $370 a month. Get 1.9% financing on all new 2024 Colorado trucks. A new 2025 Equinox LT is posted at only $25,999 plus 2.9% financing. Together, let's drive at North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com. Must qualify for financing offers. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
From a fender bender to a total loss, Davis Law Firm has a team of expert attorneys ready to get you back on the road with the verdict or settlement you deserve. Y hablamos español. Want more? Call the Fours. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio, 444-4444.
Guys, if you ever spend time on social media, you'll often find yourself just being hit with bad news and worse comments, and you'll see how everybody's life is so picture perfect, and they've got this great job promotion, and you're wondering, man, where am I? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing. Imagine how you'd feel if you just spent 45 minutes focused on how you're doing. That's what they're about at Cerebral. They make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. And the best part, Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. If you're dealing with stress, anxiety, you want to be more present and focused, you want to sleep better, you want to have better relationships, you've got to work on yourself. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs. Just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important, and Cerebral's here to help you build a strong foundation for your overall being. So take the first step today. Visit Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for mind time.
San Antonio, get ready. Cody Canada and The Departed are bringing their high-energy red dirt, alt country, and rock and roll to Sable Hall at the Pearl on Saturday, February 22nd. Doors open at 7 p.m. Grab your tickets now at sablehall.com before they're gone. Cody Canada and The Departed live at Sable Hall, February 22nd.
Pizza craving? We've got you covered. At Round Table Pizza, we've been crafting pizzas with premium, high-quality ingredients for over 60 years. From our made-from-scratch dough to our savory toppings piled all the way to the edge. Find your nearest location or order delivery at roundtablepizza.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-334-2266. That's 800-334-2266. 800-334-2266.
Paid for by Wesley Financial.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and
unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mello can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mello Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mello Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mello Mushroom.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
My daughter is having a gender reveal.
With air quotes. You just went air quotes.
Dude.
What are you, Stephen Jones?
Well, yes. I told her, unless she's blowing that smoke out of her behind.
Whoa.
Dude, that's the best gender reveal I've ever seen.
You don't want to see that from your daughter?
I've heard it. Might as well be a little blue or pink smoke coming out of that thing.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
You know, Vic,
Yeah.
all hell can't stop us now.
Nope.
Should be a song lyric.
Should be.
This has got stranglehold vibes.
Transmission.
Rage!
Decade over making the
They got a new record out.
Wild.
They got a new record out, don't they?
I don't think so.
Don't they have some kind of new? I heard them talking to your favorite dude, the lead singer.
Zach De La Rocha?
Yeah, that dude. Or maybe they're on tour.
I think they are doing some
Maybe that's
touring.
what it was, because I never see him, and he was actually being interviewed on something.
Yeah, I don't think there's plans for new music, but if there is, I'll get it.
Oh yeah, you'll find out.
I'm in. Zachary De La Rocha. I'm a big fan of his fine work. Tom Morello's always making new music. He's like he's a lifer. But I think the problem is getting Zach to commit to the life, and he's too angry. He's too. Although they did like when Leonard Cohen. Why can't I think of his name? Leonard Peltier. When Leonard Peltier got freed, the political prisoner was one of the guys that like they used to sing and scream about.
I know that name, but I'm trying to figure out.
He's the one that he was accused of murdering FBI agents like back in the 70s. He's a Native American guy. He's from South Dakota.
That's it.
And like
he was holding his ground.
There was
yeah,
there was like no evidence, and they just like they kind of OJ'd him. Like they said, well, and I mean he may have done it, but what they did to get him to get there was like a travesty. But they didn't pardon him, but they let him off the hook. Like they gave him they let him live out his years at home, I suppose, as a, you know.
His sentence was
so like some of the stuff that he's been yelling and screaming about all these years is getting done. Maybe he's a little more cheerful now. Maybe he's got some new things to yell and scream about that can be taken care of in the next 20, 30 years. But I don't know. I'd be down if he would come back to doing music. I won't count on it though. I'll say that.
Last real one was when?
Oh,
been some live records.
Well, even that and I think part
Renegades.
Well, yeah, and I think that's part of why he left the band is he didn't want to do that album because it was all covers, which some of them are really awesome, but he didn't really want to do it, and I don't know. I'm not here to figure out why they don't play it or they don't make music anymore, but they are back in touch and occasionally doing shows. I tried to go see him in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and the show got canceled because of COVID.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of reasons to cancel.
Womp, womp.
You know, we were talking college basketball a second ago, and we've been looking at the draft stock of Cooper Flagg.
You're in love with this guy.
Did you hear what he said yesterday?
No.
He was
wants to stay at Duke.
He said, I might just stay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lie. He'll come out.
Are you sure?
But it is now we've reached a point, and I don't know. I think it's a good thing for college basketball that, a couple of Duke guys get together, a couple of hedge fund managers, Suddenly you got a team for another year, and he's making $20 million. He's making more than he would as a rookie.
I mean, I get that, but also
isn't that what we want?
I don't know. I'm torn on this. Like, as a college basketball guy, I'd love to see guys play longer, but also everybody bounces around team to team now anyway. So it's I'll say this: we are now in a time where it's shifted back to where there's still a lot of freshmen going, but it's not as crazy to draft a junior or a senior as it was
it's not
4 or 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, like, if a guy was still playing college basketball his junior year, it's because he wasn't an NBA guy.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? You don't have enough tools.
Now it's like, okay. I mean, Dalton Connect was a senior when, there's guys who almost every year stick around and get drafted in the first round. Terrence Shannon's another guy who comes to mind, like a guy who played a full college basketball career, was like a grown-ass man when he got to the NBA.
And the kid that just transferred from the same school that ended up at Kansas State, Hawkins.
Yep,
4-year
Hawkins.
pro. He's going to play in the NBA. Just took a bunch of money to stay in college.
Yeah, so it's not as wild for guys to stay in college as it used to be.
But we like the continuity. And I'll tell you this. If Zion would have had the opportunity to stay at Duke, he probably would have. I think that kid was not ready to go pro.
Oh, God, no.
But you know what I mean?
He was also Zion was also getting paid.
Yeah, but
already,
but under the table, and it's more difficult to keep it quiet and to find a reason to stay. Now Cooper could come out and say, "Well, I got a $20 million offer. I'm staying here," and we would all go, "Hooray for Duke! We get some continuity. We get a little bit more." And at this point, it is not a detriment to staying in college. You can grow your brand. You can sell your shoes. You can do all the things you want to do and stay home.
How does it how's the timeline where, like, from when you have to announce that you're going to be in the draft?
Well, you're allowed to go through the entire draft process.
Up to when?
Up until after the last combine. The NBA will have their combine, and you can go through all of that. The only thing you can't, well, now you can even hire an agent. Used to, you couldn't hire an agent. You could still go through the process. Now you can even take your agent with you.
Okay, here's the question. When does the draft lottery happen as opposed to?
I think you have about a month, 6 weeks to a month.
Before?
No, the combine will be done before. Oh, the lottery will be going on before the draft combine is done. So we'll already have a lottery in order.
So if Cooper Flagg finds out, okay, I'm going to the Washington Wizards, I don't want to go to the Washington Wizards, he can say, I think I'm going to stay at Duke.
Absolutely.
That's the move. I'd wait to see how the ping pong balls pop out.
Absolutely. And, used to, the race, when it first, the one and done idea was just get pro. Go as soon as you can and become a pro, because it's not about your first contract. You're chasing your second contract.
Yeah.
Those 13-year-olds, when they are talking to people, and, we already know who the NBA is going to draft, those 13-year-olds. We already know who they are. They're already in a room. They're already been figured out. We already know there's 113-year-olds in the United States right now who have NBA potential, and we know every one of them. And I say we, coaches know. So they're already talking to those that know that in 5 years, the goal will be, in 5 years, for you to graduate from high school and to start getting paid. Now it used to be we get you paid under the table in college, and then we get you real money in pros. Now we're going to get you paid at 18, and then we're going to get you paid as an NBA player, and then we're going to get you the generational money.
Yeah.
That's the plan. So the plan was altered once the real money came around. It was the race to the second contract. All that mattered was get to the league. Doesn't matter whether you play your first year, but by the end of year 3, sign that second deal and pay everybody back. That's helped you out through all that, and get that generational money. Now you don't have to wait. Now you can get that generational money right out of high school.
The latest mock draft from ESPN has the Spurs picking 9th and 12th.
Which I think right now is probably about where they're going to end up.
Now, if I were in their shoes, I would do everything I could if I ended up with 9 and 12, I would do everything I could to take that 9 and 12 and try and move it up into the 5 range, 4 or 5 range. I don't think they will.
Well, I think they'll try, but I don't think anybody say yes. You know, this is a good draft. I think there's 15 players that are going to help the NBA.
Okay.
That's about it. But I think there's 15 players out there that will still be in the league in 4 years, and that's a big ask. 9 and 12, they're going to get 2 NBA players. And I think right now, when you look at the team, it'd be great to get Dylan Harper. It'd be great to get Cooper Flagg. But the fact of the matter is, we got 2 stars. We'll probably go buy a third, and everything else now is pieces and parts. Now you're drafting for need, not best player available. We got to be realistic here.
Well,
and 9 and 12, you can go get some need guys.
At 9, it looks like this project, and this is ESPN.com, it projects best player available at 9 and need at 12. At 9, it's got Jeremiah Fears, point guard, Oklahoma.
He's an NBA player. If we walk out of the draft with Jeremiah Fears at 9, I'm a happy man.
Jeremiah Fears is going to be very good someday in the NBA. He might be a long way from
he's 3 years away. But again, he's an NBA player. There's no question. I wouldn't be upset with that.
It says he has one of the highest usage rates of all projected first rounders.
He's the only guy on that team.
He is great ball handler, gets to spots on the floor out of pick and rolls, passes, draws fouls, scores in a variety of ways. Basically single-handedly keeping Oklahoma in the tournament conversation, which is true.
All of that.
Showing growth with his defense, decision-making, and shooting would help cement his candidacy as a top 10 pick. Fear's talent has been vividly displayed even when he struggled from an efficiency perspective. Shot creation was a major need for the Spurs prior to acquiring De'Aaron Fox, and Fears should be intriguing as a potential spark plug scorer who wouldn't have to be forced into major minutes right away. His flashes of talent will have to outweigh his shortcomings from a physical and defensive perspective, but he'd have the opportunity to learn behind Fox and eventually pair with the bigger and more defensive-minded Stephen Castle. He's 6'4", he's about 180 pounds. He is very slight.
Yeah, he's smooth.
But he's 18 years old. He's a long way away. But
I'll take it.
Yeah, you add a guy like that. That's like you talk about having a sixth man, seventh guy that would be a real impact player for you.
And I disagree with that. That's also a need, and they brought it up. He is the only guy on that OU team. So he is responsible for bringing the ball up. He's responsible for the beginning of the play and the end of the play, and everybody knows it. So he's very accustomed to taking shots against 2 and 3 dudes and taking that extra dribble and doing those little NBA things that you have to pick up when you're sharing time with 2 other guys that can also play. He's alone. So he has to do one thing extra every play, and he's going to be uniquely prepared to be an NBA basketball player.
Now, this guy, I'm not going to pretend like I know a lot about him, but I watched some film on him last night when I was reading this. This guy's name's John Berenger. He plays at Cedevita Olympia, France.
I've seen him.
He is 18 years old, and he's kind of what I always talk about in big men. He plays a big man game. It says he's drawing increasingly significant crowds of NBA decision makers in Slovenia. First of all, you say he's Slovenian. I'm interested. He's responded with some spectacular moments on the defensive end, proven to be one of the most versatile players in the class with his ability to cover ground on the perimeter, switch onto smaller players, and protect the rim, leading both the Euro Cup and Adriatic League in block percentage. He's only played basketball for 3 years. He had 0 high-level experience coming into the season, but improves every week, giving him unlimited upside to grow into the long term. Adding a high upside young interior defender in Berenger, who could take on some responsibility in the paint and allow Wembanyama to handle a more versatile defensive role, would give the Spurs a different dimension. His upside and ability to defend the bigger bodies would make him an intriguing option as a young rim protector on the right timeline with the rest of the team's core players.
You just described the number 30 pick. That's
okay.
Not a 12 pick. That's if the Spurs, whoever wrote that goes, What's the history of the Spurs? And they're still thinking this is the Spurs of 2010. Or 2009, 10, 11, where everybody they drafted had a vowel at the end of the name and was going to be stashed someplace. We're not in a draft and stash place. We don't have time for some 18-year-old Lithuanian block shot leader. I think he's probably might turn out to be good in 5 years. At 12, no, that's a mistake.
Well, I'll give you a reference point of a guy, and this is certainly a guy I thought was going to take 5 years or so. Who went last year and is already making a major impact.
It's not Yves Messi.
But
Yves played college basketball. He wasn't he wasn't some D-leaguer in Lithuania who's been playing them for 3 years. That's the Josh Primo pick. That's the pick you make when you think you're the smartest guy in the room. If you think that, you got to get out of the room. That's a dumb pick at 12. I'm just telling you, that guy ain't going in the first round.
Well, Messi was another guy who only played basketball for a couple years.
He was here playing against regarded talent men. This is a different thing, man. Different.
Okay.
Don't read that kind of stuff. That he ain't a first-round draft pick. You're telling me that they're telling me a 3-year guy in Lithuania, he's drawn some scouts.
Okay.
I mean, it's just too early for that.
All right.
He needs to come to the United States.
I prefer
You know what
that
I mean?
as well.
He needs to come
prefer
here.
to see how guys look against. But I mean, Wemby didn't have any experience against.
Yeah,
any of
but
that
we
stuff.
saw this guy's this is out of the blue, man. I mean, yeah,
No, I get
somebody's
it.
trying to act smart and read a scouting report from somebody that showed up. Ain't nobody been playing for 3 years in some Lithuanian C League going 12 in the draft. You don't. That's a 30th pick. That's the end of the first round. We're already good, and we can wait 5 years. We don't have the time for that.
It's also, I mean, part of the thing is like there's just not. There aren't rim protecting bigs
at 15,
anymore.
it's going to be a crapshoot. It will be, but if you do it right, there's 15 NBA guys that can play 4 or 5 years that are going to be coming out.
No, you're probably right.
And that kind of guy, that's an RPP pick. If he pans out, we'll hold a spot for him, but they're a long way away. And the Spurs have whiffed on a couple of those over the last couple of years. Davis Bertans comes to mind. Different kind of player, but another reach where you go, if things pan out, you know what? Davis is actually a pretty good basketball player now, 6 years later.
And there is, the guy that I've said to you before, and I don't think you're against him in the second round, is Ryan Kalkbrenner.
No, I haven't. That's the perfect place for Ryan Kalkbrenner. Maybe this guy from Lithuania, get here, get under somebody's tutelage, and go learn. Kalkbrenner can step in and play in the NBA today because, first of all, you can't coach 7'4".
Right.
And he's got the NBA game, played against NBA players. I know exactly what I'm drafting with Kalkbrenner. He ain't going to be less or much more than what I think he is, but I know exactly what I'm going to get. And he's going to play in the league. Now, it'll be a two-way deal, but everybody's seen what Zach Edey's capable of. There is room for a dude like that in the NBA.
And that's what he is, a guy who's been in college. He's a super senior. He's been around. Like, he's going to be a steady force, and he's not going to be a star.
No, but he's a 10-year NBA type that will go up and down and give you 8 and 4 in 20 minutes of work. That's what he's going to do no matter what.
And probably block a couple shots.
Yeah,
give me that guy.
That's a second-round draft pick or a late first-rounder for a team that's already there.
For the Spurs right now, it's got them taking in the second round Chaz Lanier. He's a super senior also, the guard from Tennessee.
Can't shoot, but I like him.
Nobody at Tennessee can shoot,
I like him. He's a tough kid.
Of the guys at Tennessee, he's the best of the shooters, but he can't shoot either.
Rick Barnes through and through.
I just want that when the Spurs do pick, I want them to fill those two holes. I want them to take a shooter, and that's why as much as like, you like Jeremiah Fears, I like Jeremiah Fears too. I just don't like him for the Spurs. I want some, like if the Spurs draft a guard, to me, to break this rotation as a guard, you better do the one thing that the rest of them can't do, and the one thing the rest of them can't do is shoot.
I think they're going to buy shooting. I think they're going to go find NBA guys, and they're going to develop. The one thing that you're right, he's got a good shot. He's just not a good shooter, and there's a big difference. But the thing that you brought up that's most important, and I think put him on the radar before the De'Aaron Fox pickup, is he can go get his own shot, and we just don't have that.
And you know what, man? The guy that I really liked, and he's rising up boards, and he'll be gone before the Spurs pick, unless the Spurs get a lucky break. Is VJ Edgecombe, the kid from Baylor,
and we love Baylor kids. It wouldn't be the first time. So no, but he won't be there at 9.
He's not going to be there. I wish the Hawks sucked more, because he's going to be good. He's figured out his shot now. He is very Brandon Millerish from last year's class. There's a lot to like about this guy, but he's just getting better and better, and that's
the thing about Scott Drew kids is we know he can play. We know he's got offensive game and he can touch the top of the box and all that. But when after spending a year in Waco, he's going to come here ready to play defense.
Yeah.
And he's going to understand, like Sohan did, that defense was what gets me on the court. Defense is what gets me paid. And I think he'll come in and at least be prepared to do that.
Well, and the other guy is Yakashonis, the kid from Illinois, who's like a 6'6" point guard who, up until like 3 weeks ago, was one of the better shooters in the country, and now all of a sudden he just can't shoot.
Got hurt.
So I got to figure out like
forearm issues. So I think that has really played into it. I think that he's a top 10 pick.
Oh, for sure,
for sure. But he's going to be. It's really going to matter to the team. Really is going to matter because there's not a lot of defense there.
No, but I'm not, because of Castle, I'm not really asking somebody a guard to break this rotation.
I don't think he's going to fall to 9
on his defense.
I don't think he's going to fall that far. I think he's going to have a hell of a combine.
Well, and also remember, I don't know that the Spurs are going to pick at 9. That's still way up in the air too. Like Spurs might have plenty more losses in their tank.
Yeah, I think our high pick's going to be the Atlanta one. I think we're going to do something crazy.
Okay.
My son just texted Liam McNeely would be your ideal.
That's he's certainly a cheaper option.
And he's a late first rounder.
Yeah, I think so too. But again, where the Spurs pick, he might not be, or like it might be
too
a reach.
high for him. Yeah. Well, it might be too high for him at 12. No, 12 I think might be about where he lands. But I think shooting is such a commodity that he'll get overdrafted.
Yeah,
he's
also soft.
Well, he could turn it, Luke Kennard. He reminds me a lot of Luke Kennard. And I'll tell you what, I'd pay a lot of money right now to have Luke, except for the amount of money he's getting, which is too much. Right. But Memphis is certainly happy to have him.
All right, let's hit a break. It is the Morning Huddle 941 San Antonio Sports Star.
I hope you woke up this morning and washed yourself clean underneath a water-softened Connecticut shower. Let me tell you about Connecticut. For those of us that have lived around San Antonio for a long time, we didn't have Connecticut growing up. We just kind of got used to that white stuff on our dishes, and you just kind of got used to dry hair. You just kind of got used to it growing up down here until Connecticut showed up. And then you realize there is a better world out there. Those plumbers that kept coming to my house to fix the pipes, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't have to worry about buying a new refrigerator every 5 years because everything inside's all knotted up because of all the leftovers from my water. You put a Connecticut in, that is a thing of the past. And not only will you feel it, you're going to see it in your power bill. So you don't even plug in a Connecticut water softener. It works off kinetic energy. I say it all the time. I don't know. It's science. All I can tell you is I'm saving money on salt as well. I've got an ironclad warranty, I've been told. I'll tell you what, I've never used it. I've never had one problem with my Connecticut water softener. If it's time to change or you're building or it's time to get the very best, I want you to get yourself a Connecticut. Go to ConnecticutSA.com for all the details of what I'm about to tell you. Right now, if you take advantage of Connecticut, you're going to put one in your home for 90 days free of charge so you can see what I'm talking about. And after 90 days, you go ahead and buy it. They're going to give you some money for your old water softener, up to $400. Even though it might be a piece of crap to you, they can take the parts and fix it up, but they'll be happy to pay for you. And then there's great deals on financing. There's no better time than right now to get the very best. Call 656-PURE. They'll talk to you with all the details. Go to ConnecticutSA.com for everything you need. But listen close. There's never been a time to get a Connecticut like this. Call them today. Get yourself the very best, and you can come on by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. If your travels are taking you into the downtown area, into the office, it is very busy through downtown. 35 upper level northbound at Brooklyn Avenue. That wreck has got 2 left lanes blocked. Northbound 35 at McCullough, another wreck, 2 left lanes blocked here. All that road work, 35 lower level southbound Main to Cesar Chavez. That's got the roadway reduced to 2 lanes, so that's causing delays. And we still have this trouble spot, I-10 eastbound, just before Bernie Stage Road. It's an accident. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. Don't miss the 2025 State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships. Witness the nation's top dunkers and sharpshooters battle it out live in person. One epic night of unbelievable skill and electrifying energy. Thursday, April 3rd at the Frost Bank Center. Tickets are going fast. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. See you April 3rd for the State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships. The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. One night, pure action. Don't miss it.
When life changes fast, you need a lawyer who's been there. AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks offers unique experience as a veteran and first responder to give you a strategic, results-driven approach. Facing divorce, child custody battle, or a complex family dispute, the Hicks Law Firm offers flat-fee representation from beginning to end, so you know exactly what to expect with no surprises. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win. The Hicks Law Firm.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-334-2266. That's 800-334-2266. 800-334-2266.
Paid for by Wesley Financial.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it, and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs? No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's President's Day sale is happening now. Get a king bed for a queen price. Save up to $700 plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson, and I've represented folks here in San Antonio injured by negligent drivers for more than 30 years. If you or a family member has been seriously injured, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400. I've heard from many of my clients that after they were involved in a collision, they would get phone calls asking them to hire an attorney. This is highly irregular and probably illegal. Any attorney that is trying to contact you either directly or through a marketing company is not the kind of attorney that you should trust with such a serious matter. Quite frankly, it's creepy. If you call me, we will speak directly. If you hire me, it will be after you and I have talked. I will explain what I can do for you, and you can decide what you would like me to do next. The phone call and the consultation are free. Getting a smart result requires that you make smart decisions along the way, and that's my job, to help you and your family make smart decisions, and that's based on more than 30 years of experience. If you've been injured in an accident, call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400, or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is my favorite Metallica song.
Pocket full of horses. Some of them used.
Legend.
Little Red Corvette.
You're much too fast, baby.
Oh, baby. Have you seen this Shea Gilgeous-Alexander news? He has parted ways with his agent.
Really?
Yeah. Now, it kind of makes sense in a way. Only because what's their percentage in the NBA?
No more than 3.
3? Okay.
But it can be more depending, but that ideally, I think legally they're not allowed to take more than 3.
Okay. Well, Shea this summer is eligible to sign a Supermax extension.
This is a huge move. Can you imagine losing a client that cost you, I don't know, $50 million?
He's going to sign for $300 million.
Yeah, over the period of his career. And that's just, so he gets 3% of this contract, but he also gets a bigger percentage of other contracts that he helps to negotiate.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh.
And it's like, dude, really? Right before you get to where you're getting, that now you're going to ditch me? Now, this is the same guy, Thad Foucher of Wasserman, that Russell Westbrook, they broke their relationship a couple years ago. But, yeah, he decides to leave his agent right before the offseason where, I mean, he's about to be an MVP and is going to get the most money he'll probably ever get in the rest of his career. It's a bad day at that house.
I wonder where he's headed.
Plans on representing himself. Which, again, if I were signing a $300 million contract, I'd say, yeah, I can do that myself. Because what's the negotiation for Shea?
There's a lot.
Is there a lot that you can't have a lawyer do?
No.
Okay.
No.
So if you say, I'm going to get through this contract with representing myself, have a lawyer look at my contract, make sure I'm not getting screwed, and then next year I find a new agent to help me with like shoe deals, things like that.
I guess, the old axiom of
a lawyer what I'm saying is
represents himself as a fool for a client.
Why change for the one contract for Shea that's going to be easy to negotiate? Is this upcoming because it's a Supermax? You're going to get paid the most money they can legally give you,
right?
And then after you're done with that, you keep all of that money, and now's the time you want to hire your next agent because now you get to more contracts that you can't negotiate yourself.
Well, yeah,
I'm not saying it's ethical business practices.
No, it's ethical. It's not unethical, but there's just so much nuance to this. And when you hire an agent, they are there to advocate for you in places that you might not even consider. And also to limit your issues. They're there to promote you. And it's very difficult for a person to do some of this. Yeah, we know that there is a max dollar amount. Everybody knows how much Shea's going to get. The CBA tells us.
Yeah.
But it's how it's dispersed. There's so little. There's a reason why agents exist. I mean, there's a negative connotation to them, but the good ones are there for a reason. I mean, I just don't think it's a very good idea, especially now. Obviously, his previous agents have there's to cut ties right now. Just think about what the relationship that these guys have probably known each other since they were 12, and right before the true
to happen
money
mid-season,
arrived.
yeah.
That's as big a shake to anybody's foundation.
Mid-season during your best season.
It's and you
it's
have
a shakeup.
You go in and there's always some negotiating. You just have to. It's not like here's the standard contract. We're going to pay you $300 million. We're going to pay you every Tuesday. Here, congratulations. You have to hear some hard truths sometimes. You have to sit down and you have to have your boss tell you everything that they don't like about you. That they would tell to an agent. That you don't have any personality. You shoot too much. The Luka things that were kind of true in private that got magnified when he was traded. Those little things matter, and it just never ends well. That's why so many players think they're going to represent themselves, then they get into it and they realize this is far more than I ever imagined.
It does seem. I mean, there's certainly more to it than what I would expect, like what the layperson would expect there to be.
But with hundreds of millions,
I get it, man. I get it, but I also feel like if you're willing, if you're ready to move on from your agent anyway,
and you've got the wherewithal, and you got people around you that you trust absolutely implicitly, I mean, without hesitation, then carry on with a little bit of caution. But my gosh, you earn that money that you're not going to spend.
No
you
doubt,
know what I mean?
man.
That 3% you will earn in the long run.
I just think like there's a value to having those people, like especially someone you can trust. Even like when I was fighting, even like I had a manager to get my sponsors
to
to
blow
get
your horn a little bit. It's much easier for somebody else to tell how great you are than you to tell people how great you are. All of that.
Negotiated my contract, like to fight. Like I didn't have to do any of that stuff, and like it's nice to not think about. But also we're talking about a guy who, now do I want to pay someone $3 million to do that?
Well, there's other things that come along with just sitting and writing and negotiating the deal. Anybody who's ever worked around any kind of agent understands it's a 24/7 kind of a gig. I mean,
Sure.
that 3%, those millions and millions, agents earn them. I mean, they're there at those players' beck and call 24/7. They got a problem, call the agent.
Yeah.
Got a problem, call the agent. I don't care if it's with my friend, my girl, my Sancha, my whatever. Call the agent. Let him handle it 24/7. So they earn their money, but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of fun.
All right, let's talk some NFL when we come back. There's a story about the offseason salary cap questions that every team is facing. Dallas is no surprise. We'll talk about what they might do, what the rumors are of what they will do. We'll do that next. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Get matched to your perfect bed now and sleep at night. Plus, if you see a lower price, they'll match it. Hurry and stop by Mattress Firm to upgrade today. Restrictions apply.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Guys, if you're scrolling through social media, you might notice all the terrible things that are going on in our world. You might notice that there's people saying wild things, there's people doing wild things, and it can be frustrating. And then on that same scroll, you might notice, man, Jerry down the street, his life is so perfect. He got a new promotion at work. He got a new baby. Him and his wife are real happy. What's going on with my family? And you might think, man, my life is just a bummer. Well, when you're wrapped up in someone else's life instead of your own, it's easy to feel that way. Imagine just taking some time, about 45 minutes, focusing on how you're doing. That can be a huge thing for you. And Cerebral, what they do is they make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication that's personalized for you. And they offer in-network care so you don't have to focus on the cost of it. 72% of people say they're feeling better in just 12 weeks. Imagine that. 12 weeks, you're already feeling better. So if you're dealing with your stress or anxiety, I'm here away from my family. It's been a weird transition time for me. I have hard times myself. It's nice to have someone to talk to share those experiences with, and really it can make a difference for you. Cerebral makes it easy, accessible, and affordable to get mental health care. As an in-network provider, they're working with your insurance, helping to lower the cost so more people can get the support they need. They're proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs, and just like athletes have to prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important, and Cerebral is going to help you build a strong foundation for your overall well-being. So take that first step today. Visit Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with your insurance. Cerebral, make time for mind time.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson, and I've represented folks here in San Antonio injured by negligent drivers for more than 30 years. If you or a family member has been seriously injured, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400. I've heard from many of my clients that after they were involved in a collision, they would get phone calls asking them to hire an attorney. This is highly irregular and probably illegal. Any attorney that is trying to contact you either directly or through a marketing company is not the kind of attorney that you should trust with such a serious matter. Quite frankly, it's creepy. If you call me, we will speak directly. If you hire me, it will be after you and I have talked. I will explain what I can do for you, and you can decide what you would like me to do next. The phone call and the consultation are free. Getting a smart result requires that you make smart decisions along the way, and that's my job, to help you and your family make smart decisions, and that's based on more than 30 years of experience. If you've been injured in an accident, call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400, or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Right now at North Park Chevrolet, own a new 2024 Silverado Crew Cab posted at $33,999 or lease for $0 down and $370 a month. Get 1.9% financing on all new 2024 Colorado trucks. A new 2025 Equinox LT is posted at only $25,999 plus 2.9% financing. Together, let's drive at North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com. Must qualify for financing offers. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
At Round Table Pizza, our signature ingredients like made-from-scratch dough, our 3-cheese blend, and toppings all the way to the edge create your perfect pizza. Try our new pepperoni, grilled chicken, and bacon pizza, available for a limited time. You can enjoy a large for only $19.99 at participating locations. Plus, pair your pizza with our irresistible shareables. To find your nearest location or to order for pickup or delivery, head to roundtablepizza.com. That's roundtablepizza.com.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs. No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. So we are working a few trouble spots downtown, 35 lower level. That's road work southbound from Main to Cesar Chavez. It's causing a 10-12 minute delay. Does have the roadway reduced to 2 lanes. 35 northbound Alamo, accident onto the shoulder. A vehicle fire at Alamo Street. At South Laredo Street, the fire itself has been tapped out. I-10 westbound Fair Oaks, that wreck is still in the right lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
NFL turning to league business has rescinded Texans running back Joe Mixon's $25,000 fine on appeal for supposed post-game comments in the divisional round of the playoffs. The numbers are in for the Super Bowl, and Nielsen says that the Eagles-Chief game set a new record with 182.8 million viewers that's now including the streaming numbers. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
SportsCenter brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Alrighty. Oh, it's my not my favorite time of week. One of my favorite times of the week. It's hump hour of hump day.
We have surpassed midpoint.
We're rolling downhill. Yep. There's a story on ESPN.com about offseason salary cap questions for every team in the NFL. And there's a lot about pass rushers in this case. For instance, the Buffalo Bills, they talk about, are the Bills going to cut Von Miller? Which I believe, yes, they are going to cut Von Miller. He's in there, and it's going to save him about $8.5 million. He's under contract for 3 more years. He's 36. There's no more guaranteed money on his deal.
Yeah, he's done.
He was like a they thought that he was going to they were like load managing him so he'd be ready for the playoffs, and then he played against the Ravens and Chiefs. He played less than 20 snaps in each game.
It was a worthy attempt. I don't blame him. I don't think they part as friends. I don't think he did all he could. He just wasn't ever healthy, and he was getting old.
We know there's a huge question in Cincinnati about Trey Hendrickson, who is arguably turning into the best young pass rusher in the league. There's a big question right now about what happens with Myles Garrett. Like, what does he go? Like, I don't know. Like, do you move him? Do you take that dead money hit on him? T.J. Watt he's got 1 year left on his extension that he signed before 2021. And if you want, and this is the last year of that, so the best way to lower his cap hit is to extend him again. Mm-hmm. What do you do with him? What do the Chargers do with Joey Bosa? There's questions. Max Crosby of the Raiders. What happens?
All the talent you're talking about. This isn't just Pro Bowl. This is all pro players. And because of the volatility, because there are so many variables here, I get the sense we're about to shake the board here. I think there's going to be dudes in different places next year.
I think so too. But all of these questions, and when you tell me there's all of these pass rushers that have these questions around them.
You didn't even bring up Micah.
Well, that's where I'm getting to.
Yeah.
That's really alarming if you're a Cowboys fan, because Trey Hendrickson is going to get paid an absurd amount of money. Max Crosby is likely to get paid an absurd amount of money.
Do you think that the competition might limit the pay raises? Because I'm going to go talk to Max, I'm going to go talk to Bosa, I'm going to talk to the Cowboys. I mean, I might not get the type of edge or rusher that I'm wanting, but I'll get one.
That's the thing. Like, you could trade for Myles Garrett, which will cost you a bunch of assets, and you'll have to extend him, and then you start to wonder, when does Myles Garrett turn into Von Miller? Or you can extend T.J. Watt, which the Steelers likely will do. I don't think T.J. Watt, the likelihood of him going anywhere is very low.
He's a Steeler, yeah.
But Micah, to me, the comps are Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson. These are the guys who are – I don't even count Joey Bosa in this group. Those 3 guys are young, elite pass rushers.
And healthy.
Healthy.
Hadn't dealt.
And you know what? I'll even throw I don't know if he's on the same level quite. Kayvon Thibodeau in New York, he's going to be in the same boat here pretty soon too. But let's stick with those three for now. The Cowboys historically have proven that what they do is wait till the last minute.
Yeah, they pay for previous performance and not on expectation. So that waiting, by the time they pay, they've overpaid.
So the Cowboys, if they wanted to today, they could put an extension on Parsons, or they could offer an extension to Parsons, which would, first of all, it would help with this year's cap. It would drop his, with the signing bonus, would drop his salary for next year to the veteran minimum, which the Cowboys need cap room right now because Dak and CD is like what they've taken up now. There's no way to really make that up. His salary cap number for 2025, his salary and his cap number are set at $24 million. So to go from $24 million to league minimum on his cap hit this year would be a nice little thing for the Cowboys.
But that doesn't fit their plan.
You're right. What they are more apt to do is wait until everything else plays out, and then at the last minute, like they did with Dak, like they did with CD, then decide to do it. And all that's going to do is make the price of business go up.
They do it okay, it's not just a Cowboy thing. Look at what, the best example would be Cincinnati last year with Chase. Remember going in, Chase standing around in shorts in training camp because he wanted to renegotiate, and they said, okay, we'll talk. They talked a little bit. Then the season started, and Cincinnati said, no, we didn't get it done. We'll talk at the end of the season. And Chase went out and had a hell of a year, and now they're going to have to pay him double. Not double, but they're going to have to pay a 10% tax on waiting just because they didn't get it done, and now he had the kind of year that Chase was due to have, and now they're going to have to pay more. And you like that. You'd like to think that Micah will see that, and Jerry, I'm sure, is playing that card like, I'm going to hold that carrot out there so he goes bananas this year. And and he's always said it. I will happily pay you if you go do it. And I think that's the way Jerry has always done it. But you got to go do it first, and I'll overpay for you.
And what's going to happen is you're going to see all these guys. You're going to see Nick Bosa. You're going to see T.J. Watt. You're going to see Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson get their money. And what Micah's going to do is he's going to sit back and go,
just wait. All right.
I'm younger than all those guys. I'm younger than all those guys.
And I don't get hurt.
So now what are you paying me? And when you consider that the highest paid pass rusher in the NFL right now is Nick Bosa at $34 million a year, my assumption is Max Crosby, T.J. Watt, and Trey Hendrickson will all be around that.
They'll all be with about $1 million.
They'll all be in the mid-30s.
With one thing that will allow their agent to say, I got it done. He'll have one thing. They got the biggest close year, biggest first year, something where everybody's happy.
Whereas the last round when all these guys were up, the price of business was about 25. Now it's going to be closer to 35. Every minute that the Cowboys wait to make a decision on Michael Parsons is going to cost them. And for a team that really doesn't have wiggle room with this stuff, why don't they do this now? If they're like, do you think the Cowboys organizationally know what their long-term plans with Micah are?
Oh yeah.
Or do you think it's fluid?
I think it's as
like we've talked about. Could they trade him
as possible? You know what I mean? I think when you look at the Cowboys, they look at Dak, Micah, CD.
Okay.
Maybe Trayvon in there. But those are the four where you go, those are the Cowboys. And one of those four they're looking at ain't going to be a Cowboy. I think that they've been realistic going, well, one of these can't be a Cowboy in 2 years. And I don't know which one they've decided ain't going to be.
Well, two of them are already off the table.
Well, I mean, they're tradable, movable. I mean, I'm just looking at the number. We're looking at $30 million players. I'm talking about four of them.
Right. But what I'm saying is Dak, you understand now.
Well, in a year, it gets a little easier. In a year, it gets a little – I'm talking about in 3 years, 4 years, so they're looking down the road. Of these four guys, two of them are going to be gone. And Dak will be movable in a year or so. It will be. That contract gets a whole lot easier to move. Trayvon, every year it gets a little bit easier because that was a big deal when he signed it, but now the market's caught up. It's a movable and maybe a more equitable deal. But I can't imagine they're looking at these four going, we're going to have all four, and this is how it's going to happen. I don't think that they look at it that way. I think they're going to play the waiting game. They're not going to pay Micah until they absolutely have to, or more likely going to move him.
Yeah.
And deal with the ramifications of this offseason in a couple years. They're just not there. Who's the OC? I mean, they bought themselves some time with this new coaching staff because the expectations went down, so they can bounce for a year.
I'm looking at Dak's contract.
I saw it's like 2 years. It gets to about $35-40 million cap hit, what makes it a lot more acceptable. But we're a couple years away.
And before the 2028 season, he'd be a $34 million dead cap hit,
which is a bargain. At that point, that's the low end.
But before that,
so it's 3 years. 3 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Dak hasn't even started playing on the contract that you signed him to.
No, he hadn't, and he has to before they can start doing anything with it. That's the problem.
So you're married to Dak
for 3 years, and I just don't think he's going to be a quarterback to the Cowboys more than 4 years, no matter what.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
but I also don't think he gets traded because it's so hard to trade contracts like that. And by the time you'd want to get rid of him, he's $55 million base salary. Who's looking to take that on?
Well, yeah, but everybody else will be making about 80 by then. So you got to keep in mind the inflation rate. Yeah, they're stuck with it. But I do think that they go in 2 years we can start talking.
But
Micah, I just think is not going to survive this because they're going to do what they've always done. They're going to wait. They're going to wait. They're going to wait. They're going to wait, and then go, well, this is too much. They could have signed him right now, but in a year.
But you know what? Didn't you think that's what they were doing with Dak?
Well, yes.
I had gotten to the point where I was like, okay. And with Dak, I was like, they're doing the smart, the prudent thing. And then at the last minute, they said.
They panicked.
You get all our money. And it's like, if you do this with
I don't think he'll do this with Micah. He can't. I mean, financially, he can't.
And the thing with CD was, CD didn't feel as bad because you paid CD top end wide receiver money. CD feels like a top end wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's not Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, but he's close enough that it's like it doesn't kick you in the balls to do it. Dak kicks you in the balls because Dak's not a top 5 quarterback, and you paid him number 1 quarterback. And Micah Parsons probably deserves to be the highest paid defensive player in the league because he is just as good as anybody, and he's younger than anybody who's in the conversation with him. But
defensive guys move.
But
they do.
But you want that. You want to get him at the best value you can, and if you're going to trade him, trade him. If you're going to keep him, commit to him right now and sign him. Do not wait until the day before the season starts because then you're paying $1.20 on the dollar, and that doesn't make any sense.
This is the argument with Jerry for as long as I've covered the Cowboys. As long as he's been a Cowboy, or with the contracts or the CBA allowed him to do this. A dollar delayed to him is a dollar saved. It always will be. To him, if I don't have to spend a penny today, that's a win. Now, I might have to spend 10 tomorrow, but today,
isn't that crazy to think like
it? The way that so many businesses operate is a delay is a win. I don't care whether you delayed something good. That's fine too. Just delay it because that way I can be certain about today. And I think Jerry is about how much money do I have at 5 p.m. when the banks close? Okay, that's a win. I don't care whether it's going to cost me more tomorrow. Today, I'm in the black. And I just think he operates that on a regular basis because he never knows when the money's going to dry up. He has that oil field. It could dry up tomorrow. So as long as it's still in the bank today, I'm going to win. And he just does business like that. It's not the way that you can maintain success. It's the way to keep your players happy because they get paid through the nose.
All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, we're gonna keep talking NFL. The latest NFL.com mock draft is out, and the Cowboys. It's got them taking a player that I think it doesn't make sense for the Cowboys, but makes sense for the Cowboys. If you know what I mean. It doesn't make sense that it's something that they would do, but it makes sense. It's something they should do. We'll talk about that next.
Cowboy move.
Morning Huddle 94.1.
Oh, you had me intrigued. What a great tease. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about my back problems. It was well documented yesterday. I stumbled walking out of my house, and my back seized up. One of the great things about going to an Arosty provider is not only do they get you out of pain, More importantly, they teach you what got you into pain. What was the reason why you got into it? Sometimes it's obvious. You lifted something too heavy and you pull the muscle. Sometimes it's not so obvious. You deal with pain because of something that you've been doing on a repetitive basis that you need to fix. And that's why I love going to a Myorosti provider, because not only does he fix the pain or she fix the pain, but she's taught me how to keep myself pain-free. If you're living with something that just won't let you get yourself in the game, something constant and consistent that you decided to live with, stop. There are fixes out there, and Rosti has been mine. And you know why? It's because of how they do it. It's not about pills to hide the pain. It's not about a surgery that might just prolong the issue. It's about your body fixing itself. And man, for me, it has worked. Lower back issues, yeah, I still deal with it, but I get out of it much quicker than I ever did. And today, I can tell you the truth. Yesterday, I could barely move. I did some things I learned from Myorosti, and today I'm moving better again. That's what I want for you. So if you're living with pain, I want you to go see an Rosti provider. Here's the deal. You don't need a referral to go see them, so you can go ahead and make the call. And they accept most insurances. I don't know what you're waiting on. Here's the number. It's 1-800-404-6050. If you want to find that provider, go to their website, Rosti.com. It's got a map of all the providers. I bet there's one less than 10 minutes from where you are right now. Listen, don't let pain keep you from doing that you love. Call a Rosti today. They're going to take care of you, and when they do, come on by and thank me later.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. Don't miss the 2025 State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships. Thursday, April 3rd at the Frost Bank Center. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. One night, pure action. Don't miss it.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson, and I've represented folks here in San Antonio injured by negligent drivers for more than 30 years. If you or a family member has been seriously injured, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400. I've heard from many of my clients that after they were involved in a collision, they would get phone calls asking them to hire an attorney. This is highly irregular and probably illegal. Any attorney that is trying to contact you either directly or through a marketing company is not the kind of attorney that you should trust with such a serious matter. Quite frankly, it's creepy. If you call me, we will speak directly. If you hire me, it will be after you and I have talked. I will explain what I can do for you, and you can decide what you would like me to do next. The phone call and the consultation are free. Getting a smart result requires that you make smart decisions along the way, and that's my job, to help you and your family make smart decisions, and that's based on more than 30 years of experience. If you've been injured in an accident, call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400, or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team, Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
San Antonio, get ready. Cody Canada and The Departed are bringing their high-energy red dirt, alt country, and rock and roll to Sable Hall at the Pearl on Saturday, February 22nd. Doors open at 7 p.m. Grab your tickets now at sablehall.com before they're gone. Cody Canada and The Departed live at Sable Hall, February 22nd.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, we got a chance to meet all the Cowboys' new assistant coaches. How's Matt Eberflus going to use Micah Parsons?
And who is the new offensive coordinator? Can you name him? We'll hear from him. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're listening to The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Those bows. Drop bows on them. All right. The latest mock draft from Daniel Jeremiah, NFL.com, his second one.
I like Daniel Jeremiah, too.
He's good, man. It dropped yesterday, and it's another one where the number one pick is not a quarterback.
See, he's too smart. See, he's smarter than your average GM. That's
He's
not what it's
smarter than the Tennessee Titans, you think?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got Abdul Carter going number 1. Remember, we heard Cam Ward yesterday saying he's going to keep a list of all the teams that don't draft him. Well, it looks like that list is going to be one team because it's got Cleveland Browns taking Cam Ward. So, Cam, this is my warning to you. Be careful what you wish for, friend.
Yep.
You're about to find yourself wearing Cleveland Brown, and it ain't.
Something in the water.
Don't usually work out for anybody who gets drafted by that team. Travis Hunter, he's got them going 3rd to the Giants. Patriots taking Will Campbell, the offensive tackle, at 4. Jags, Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan, at 5. Raiders, Shedeur Sanders at 6. Tyler Warren, the big Penn State tight end, 7 to the Jets. Jalen Walker, edge rusher from Georgia, 8 to the Panthers. Mike Green, edge rusher from Marshall, who apparently is shooting up the boards.
Don't know him.
He's 9th to the Saints. Kelvin Banks, the offensive tackle from Texas, 10th to the Bears. And Will Johnson, the corner from Michigan, 11th to the 49ers. That brings us to the Dallas Cowboys, where I have seen a lot of mock drafts say Ashton Genty. And I say, don't do that if you're Dallas.
I wouldn't be mad at it, but no, it wouldn't be the prudent move.
It's not the wise thing to do. So, I keep saying the Cowboys need help in the trenches. They need offensive line. They need defensive line. Find the best fat guy available and draft him. And it says here, 12, Dallas Cowboys select Walter Nolan, defensive tackle from Ole Miss.
He spent a year at A&M.
What are your thoughts on old Walter?
It's not so much him because, I know how good he was coming out. It's just the eyes that are on him. I don't trust the defensive line scouting prowess of the Cowboys.
You're worried he'll be Taco or Mozzie Smith.
So many bad linemen that have come through that we've overdrafted. Mozzie's just the latest. I mean, I hope he's as good as I think he is.
But do you like that?
I like the idea. I love the pick.
Here's me. I get what you're saying. They're not good at scouting these guys, but also at least what you're doing there, and I don't know if the Cowboys are willing to admit this after just 2 years, but you're saying, yeah, we whiffed on that one.
Yeah, fell fast. Realized, dude.
And the real likelihood is that Osa is going to be gone, and he was probably the best guy you had, or one of the best guys you had on that front. So you really, even if you're not saying Mozzie is a total bust, you're saying we've got to replace Osa immediately.
And it's a prudent move. I mean, that's how you win football games. Good teams won't even discuss whether it's a worthy pick. Yeah, that's a good pick if he's the right guy, if he's talented.
He's the right fat guy.
Yeah, because we've drafted the wrong fat guy more often than not.
Yeah, and that I get that concern. But I think that is that's the kind of player they need to be looking for. The other guy who's available and that kind of plays that same spot of the field is Kenneth Grant from Michigan, who is excellent at both run stopping and pass rushing. I'd be interested in someone like him, but I do think that they're looking in the right. They're kicking around in the right bush to get what they want.
Just do the right thing. You don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. You don't have to reach. Just do the thing do what a normal GM would do. Nothing extraordinary. You don't have to wow me. You don't have to do anything. We're hanging on by threads here. You just got to keep us, just win a couple of football games. Don't go crazy with Ashton Genty. Though, I'm a Cowboy fan. I wouldn't be upset.
Well, let me ask you if this makes a difference to you, because we've seen Ashton Genty and then no other running back selected. In this particular mock draft, Ashton Genty goes 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Daniel Jeremiah is too smart for this article. You know what I mean?
But is he?
No, that's about where he should go.
Oh, I agree with
that.
that.
You know what I mean? That's where he should land late in the first round. That's where he belongs. That's what a smart GM would do. But you can't use that. You got exterior forces that are pulling and pushing on you.
But he also now has number 22, Omarion Hampton, running back, North Carolina, to the Chargers. Number 24, Travion Henderson, running back, Ohio State, to the Vikings.
I like him.
I do too, but now all of a sudden it's like,
I'm not saying Ashton Genty should come to the Cowboys. I just like the idea of drafting a running back. And you tell me who the best running back is, I'll trust you. I don't know.
See, I don't want the best running back. Typically, I want I want the best running back that's available in round 3.
Well, maybe, but you tell me, circle the backs and tell me. And I'm not going to leave this draft without a running back. I can tell you as a Cowboy general manager. So let's slot them, but tell me where the best running backs are, and I'm going to get them earlier than later, I think. But this is a wise move. I'm going back to previous drafts. Cowboys are pretty awful, but when they swing high, when they go high, they're pretty good. It's hard to make a mistake, but those 3rd and 4th round picks just whiff. Osa fine. Chauncey Golston.
Yeah.
It's just Quentin Bohanna last year for Hoko.
At least he played.
Well that's being able to get on the field, that's the lowest common denominator. I mean,
right.
you're the only warm body we had left.
But there's some guys who don't.
Yeah. Mozzie was just an utter mistake. Justin Rogers, I don't even know who that guy is. Where does this keep strolling through? It's a veritable who's that of defensive lineman. John Ridgeway, remember him?
Arkansas dude.
Barely remember him at training camp. Quentin Bohanna, I just mentioned him. Remember Bradley and I don't.
I remember
remember
from college.
Neville Gallimore? Vaguely. It's
bad.
They just don't see them the way that other NFL scouts see them for whatever reason.
You're right. They don't. And that's concerning. But you're right also that, I would say, because when did Tristan Hill get picked?
Tristan was an utter collapse.
But he was a pretty high pick, wasn't he?
He was. He went number 2 in the 2nd round in 2019. Let me tell you a story about Tristan Hill. I was at the very first padded practice for the Cowboys. Tristan Hill, their first pick of the draft, 2nd rounder, so he didn't get the first round love, but he was still the
He was their highest pick, yeah.
He had a cramp, a full leg cramp, about the 2nd snap, and had to be helped off the field. And you could tell all the other linemen were like, "Are you kidding me? We just started. You're already off the field, and he's already gone."
Yeah. And then last year, and you know what? I don't know. Maybe Sam Williams has something.
He does. Only problem is neck up is the problem. Neck down, he's a beast. Neck up, he can't make a move without making a mistake.
Well, neck down except for his knee, apparently.
Well, that's the other issue.
That's
but
a down.
What kept him from – I think he could be a star. I mean, Sam he was overshown before overshown, but he couldn't get healthy, and he couldn't – remember the block punt where he ran into the kicker? I mean, it was just stupid move after stupid move that kept him off the field.
But I do think that it's important for them to keep going after guys at positions of need, even if they're I get what you're saying. You don't trust them to draft it, but it's not like you can just say,
well,
we don't care.
It.
So and that's also, I mean, I'm all for, like, hey, if you want to go out and get a big time a guy can do the job, they're hard to find, man. You got to kind of breed those guys. You got to find them yourselves.
Just get a second opinion is all I'm saying. Call your friends on another team. Say, what do you think about this guy? Because I'm seeing this. For whatever they're looking for, they just can't find it very often.
Don't seem to be able to.
It's kind of funny, really.
All right. When we come back, we'll talk to the good doctor and see what's going on in the world of sports injuries. I got to tell you about attorney John Hicks. My guy John Hicks he's the kind of lawyer that understands what you're going through if you are dealing with a family law issue. He's one of us. He's just a regular dude. He's not some silver spoon lawyer. He's a veteran, 6-year Marine Corps veteran, 2 decades with the San Antonio Fire Department. He's a guy, and that experience, it gives him a unique mindset when representing his clients. And he understands that when you're going through a divorce or you're dealing with child support or whatever, you don't know what your financial situation is going to look like on the other side of this thing. So what he offers is flat fee work, which means he's going to tell you, hey, I'm getting you from point A to point B of this process. This is the number it's going to cost you, not a penny more. And there is some real value to that. And John Hicks offers that. He also offers a payment plan. So you know exactly where your money's going to go. He's not going to let you put yourself in a hole. And because, in this time, your money is a real question mark. And you want to know as much about it as you can. John Hicks, give him a call, free consultation, 210-985-8330. If you're dealing with a divorce, a custody battle, or a child support modification, get someone in your corner you can count on. jhickslawfirm.com. It's 210-985-8330 for attorney John Hicks.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your commute definitely filling in. 151 eastbound, Hunt Lane accident, left lane. I-10 westbound Ralph Fair. That wreck is also taking up a left lane. We've got a stall at 90 westbound at Military Drive, right lane blocked. Downtown, this ongoing road work causing delays. 35 lower level southbound from Main on down to Cesar Chavez, and 35 northbound at Alamo. That wreck now off to the right shoulder. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
That big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. Simply Free is available to a limited number of taxpayers. See TaxSlayer.com for eligibility.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to resodding the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
With basketball season in full swing, make watching the game a little bit more exciting with your chance to win money with Underdog, one of the leading sports apps, and you can play in Texas. You could win up to 1,000 times your money with Underdog, playing the pick'em game where you pick higher or lower on predicted stats. You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right on your pick'em entry, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Yep, turn $1 into 1,000 with your hoops knowledge. Download the Underdog Dog app and sign up using my promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or biglou.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
All right. Thunder. Joining us now on the Buyers Barricade guest line from Arasti, Dr. Jason Garrett. Dr. Garrett, how are you, good sir?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're okay. Rob could have used this phone call yesterday because Rob
I had an incident.
He could barely move yesterday.
I had an incident. I slipped just slightly enough to seize up a lower back issue and was tight all day yesterday. Followed my instructions, used my lacrosse ball.
He was doing this thing where, like, during the breaks, he didn't realize he was doing it, but he was hunched over just going, and he walked up to the door of the studio, and he stopped, and he looked over at Vic and said, Vic, can you open this door for me? And I said, oh, my gosh, this is pathetic. I felt bad. I felt like we should go outside and put him down like old Yeller.
I needed to be put down right about then. But
he's back to normal, so whatever tricks you taught him are better.
I'm nearly normal, but I did deal with that lower back seize that so many of us get every now and again. And just follow the directions that was taught to me by my Arasti providers, and here I sit.
Let's jump into these things, Doc. Anthony Edwards, who is, I don't know if he's having a disappointing season, maybe disappointing relative to expectations coming into the season. Didn't play at all during the All-Star break. That's got to be concerning. Anytime you send your guys off to the All-Star game, you're worried, how they're going to be used or whatever. Well, Anthony Edwards couldn't even get in the game, couldn't even play. And he's saying it's a groin issue, but is this one of those things where, in your mind, because he didn't know this was an issue when he left for the All-Star break, is this maybe a good thing for him that he just decided, it just doesn't feel right, I'm not going to play, so he got the rest instead of some playing?
Yeah, as long as he's getting treatment while he's out there and not just resting. So resting is fine if you break a bone, but if you have a muscle strain or any sprain strain type of injury, you need to move it, you need to use it. That's how it's going to heal more effectively. So hopefully he wasn't just enjoying the All-Star break and not getting treatment, because otherwise he's more likely to hurt it when he comes back.
So we always talk about the groin injury, that they're fine until they're not. And you said you don't rest it. So what exactly are you doing?
So the way muscles heal that, unless you've totally torn it or ripped it off the bone, which is a totally different situation, muscles heal by movement and with tension. So putting enough stress on it to get the connective tissue to line back up parallel, to get some blood flowing through there. And there's what's called Davis's law, which means soft tissue and connective tissue gets stronger if you put tension on it. If you totally rest it, then it just it stops hurting, but scar tissue lays down haphazardly, and then you're more likely to injure it, and it's weaker afterwards.
Pelicans rookie Yves Missi hyperextended his knee on Thursday, and it didn't do the Rising Stars Challenge or anything like that. One of the best young players in the game right now. It looks like he's going to miss the game coming up on Friday, which is the Pelicans' return to action. When you say hyperextended knee, what kind of damage can be done? What ligaments? What bones? What are we talking about with that?
Yeah, assuming, I'm sure he's had an MRI, and so they probably would have announced if he had any tears in there, any meniscus tears, any ligament tears. So assuming that didn't happen, he probably bruised the bones. When you hyperextend your knee, they just jam together, and the soft tissue on the ends of the bones are very, very sensitive. And when you do have a bone bruise, it's a lot of pain, but also it shuts the knee down for a little while. So it can be day to day, it can be a couple weeks. It depends on how much damage was done.
All right, 'tis the season, Doc, as we head into baseball season. Aaron Boone, talking about his slugger Giancarlo Stanton, said he's currently behind schedule due to elbow soreness. Now, that's such a broad
This is shocking, though, that Giancarlo Stanton might be hurt.
When you start hearing about elbow soreness and schedules, isn't part of the rehab process pain? I mean, aren't you dealing to get to where you need to go?
Yeah, and at a certain point, elbows, especially when you get into your early to mid 30s and definitely 40s for guys like us, elbow is the weak point in the athlete's body, mostly because your shoulder and your grip are a lot stronger, and there's just a natural weakness between the two. So if you're a high-velocity athlete, like a baseball player that throws hard, swings hard, it's going to put a lot of torque on that elbow. And so like you said, it's one of those things that it can hurt all the time, but it usually doesn't limit you unless you're talking about a Tommy John type injury. It's elbow pain. You can play through it. You got to use it. Don't be a baby.
Anthony Rendon, who is a baby, is always hurt for the Angels. He's just stealing money, 7 years, $245 million. And he's played 257 out of a possible 810 games for the Angels. But I was once told by a doctor that if I had shoulder surgery at age 40, then I was going to have shoulder surgery at age 50 and have shoulder surgery at age 60. Are hips kind of the same way? Like once you start down that road of hip surgeries, that your hip is just one of those things that it's always going to be an issue for you?
Yeah, it depends. If you have labral tears, like the connective tissue that supports the hip, that doesn't really heal and get better. A lot of times guys like us don't have to have that surgery. We can rehab it, we can use it because we're not a super high-performance athlete. If you're talking about like bone-on-bone type stuff, you're absolutely going to have recurrent surgeries as you get older. So it depends what the damage in there was done. But anytime you go in and you cut into a hip, there's so much muscle, so much tendon. There's a thick area around that stuff and nerves that it doesn't heal well. So it's going to be, your best case scenario is 85% of what you had before the surgery, before the injury that caused the surgery. So it's not going to get better.
So max you can ever expect is about 85%?
Yeah, usually from any kind of shoulder or hip, or really most surgeries, 85% is kind of your goal. Now if you were performing at 80% of your total potential, and then you have surgery and you can get to 85% of that total potential, you can kind of get back to where you were, but you got to work really hard on the rehab and taking care of yourself.
Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti joins us here on the Buyers Barricade guest line. One more, Doc. The Rockets, looks like Jabari Smith, who's been out since January 3rd with a fractured hand, is targeting a return on Friday. So when you hear that, you're talking about, 7-ish weeks on a broken hand. Do you expect that when he comes back, like it's going to take him time to work his way into form, or do you think he's sat out 7 weeks and he's going to come back and it's going to feel like he didn't miss any time? What's your expectation on how long that should take to get right?
So no concern whatsoever about the hand itself. It's really just how well they kept him conditioning during the entire time, which he should have been able to do. So as long as he's fit, it's hard to replicate game fitness. So I don't think he'll be as completely ready to play a full speed game. But after a few weeks, he should be good to go. The hand is not an issue whatsoever.
Doc, I'm watching a little bit more hockey than I normally do as this Four Nations Cup's going on, and I'm getting ready for the match tomorrow night. And I'm not used to the NHL lower body, upper body extremity. What are more common injuries for hockey? When I see a lower leg injury in hockey, would that be a strain or a pull? I mean, what do you deal with more often in hockey than other sports?
Yeah, I used to treat a lot of hockey players, and those guys are the toughest people I've ever worked on in my life. If you want to compare NBA basketball players to hockey players, they are apples and oranges. It is a monstrous difference. But usually they pull their hips all the time, they pull their groins, they pull their calves. I mean, they're extremely strong athletes, moving very fast. If you've ever been to a hockey game, you realize that game is way faster than most other sports. So when you're jumping and cutting and stopping and slipping, you got all kinds of potential for little strains here and there in your lower extremities.
Do you deal with a lot of knee surgeries, MCLs, ACLs in hockey?
Not nearly as much because they don't have the planting motion, but yeah, it still happens.
Yeah, Shedeur, the Canadian defenseman who's he's the best defender on the Golden Knights. They're saying his upper body thing, he's going to be out like week to week, which I'm like, oh, great. Now I hate that these guys are even going to play in this tournament. I don't want them even out there anymore. So, yeah, as tough as they are, when they get hurt, you know it's a bad thing. That is Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. Doc, appreciate the time as always, and we'll talk to you again next week, friend.
All right, thanks, guys.
Take care, Doc.
Dr. Jason Garrett joins us on the Buyers Barricade guest line.
Would you appreciate injury reports more or less if you just got upper body extremity?
No, I'd rather know. I want to know what's going on because I
too.
I want to talk to Dr. Garrett about it and see like what the hell's happening.
Well, I'm reading one injury. I forgot his name. Doesn't even matter. Who's out with an upper body injury? It turns out it's an infection. It's so vague that it turned out he got a little staph infection. It appears, but that to them is an upper body extremity injury. Very different than, say, a sprained leg. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that. So for me, this Golden Knights thing that with Theodore, they said it's an upper body injury. They said he's out for the rest of the tournament here. They said he's week to week, but apparently this guy Elliot Friedman says he thinks his return will likely be closer to the playoffs. Which it's like, what? What are we talking? Like now, I want to know like what the hell's happening here.
But does gambling like this?
I can't imagine.
Right. You'd think that NHL would have to get a little bit more specific.
Well, and really, it only matters if you're betting like futures, because if someone's out, they're just out.
But I'd like to know when they're coming back, what was hindering them.
I'd like to know that too. And sometimes they're honest about it after the fact, but usually, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they've decided that they need to be the least upfront about injuries, but they certainly are. Everything's like a big fat secret.
Legally, they're doing it right because of the HIPAA laws. You're really not supposed to disclose a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, but
you have to release the teams to say that. The NBA and NFL make you allow them to say.
I wonder if there's something to do with Canadian law.
Very likely, very possibly.
I mean, there's an NBA Canadian team and a NBA or Canadian baseball team, so it's not like those guys have to tell the truth. But I wonder if they because it's so maybe it's an issue and I don't know.
I don't understand why they can get away with it, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it is very frustrating. But it's the.
I want to know if my player got a hangnail. I want you to tell me if he got a bad haircut.
I mean, I want to know that too. And in hockey, more often than not, like baseball, they do get bad haircuts.
And I want to know how many teeth they have when the game starts. the things that really matter.
A lot of bad haircuts in hockey. Trust me, a lot of mullets. It's kind of gross, but
down.
Hey man, listen.
Your lettuce can go. Let it go, baby.
Did you see this news where these guys who are running around, and I hate this, but I mean I'm not totally surprised. These guys who have been breaking into athletes' homes when they know they're playing games. They're
Chileans, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
didn't want to disparage my good Venezuelan friends. Those nasty Chileans.
There's good and bad people. They're not sending their best. Chile, they're not sending their best. And when you hear Chile, you think about a delicious treat that you would put on the Frito pie. But
I think cook-off.
It's a different. There's a country called Chile, and they're full of bad hombres who break into the homes, break into wealthy homes and steal their goods.
I saw where Nicole Kidman and her wife, Keith.
Oh, I was like, what?
Their house got broke into. I wonder if it was the Chileans.
Yeah.
Maybe they knew they were at a concert.
So whose houses got broken? It was Burroughs and who else?
Middleton with the Milwaukee Bucks, I think. Got
Mahomes, Kelsey.
Oh, that's right, Kelsey.
Bobby Portis.
Oh, that was Portis that got it, not Middleton. Portis
so there's a couple guys, but they found that it's like this whole there was like a ring of dudes from Chile 7 guys charged by federal prosecutors, all ranging in age from 20 to 38, all from Chile, members of a South American theft group, and accused of stealing over $2 million in valuables, charged with conspiracy to commit interstate transport of stolen property, which carries up to 10 years in prison.
Have you seen the video of them getting pulled over?
Oh, yeah.
They got all the Joe Burrow's T-shirts in the trunk.
Yeah, it's like...
So you play football at LSU, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh, yes, played football. Oh, yes.
I would think... Like, dude, there's a photo of them, like, holding up the jewelry that they stole.
Wow.
In my mind, it's like, if you've got such an organized group that you're able to do that big of a hit,
right?
Like, in my mind, you've already got buyers lined up, or it's already, like, that stuff's getting out as soon as possible. And I would think there'd be a rule where you don't take anything that doesn't have, like, I'm not talking about like eBay valuables. I'm talking about like stuff that you can't sell.
Gold.
Yes,
Yeah.
to sell to a jeweler.
I want to be able to melt this thing down and pry the diamonds out of the gold.
Right. Or a TV that you could flip immediately to some dude like out of the back of your van.
Don't take his jerseys, man.
Yeah, dude. Don't take diamond encrusted things that
with his number on
anything
it.
with his name on it. What are you doing?
Don't take personal pictures of Travis and Taylor.
Or a selfie in their closet.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. Well, that tells you you had one
Here's
smart
me with
guy.
Taylor Swift's underwear.
You had one smart guy who organized it, then you had 5 idiots that went out and did it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you get? You fools did what?
That's what happened.
This is what you're doing.
You stole Joe Burrow's T-shirts, did you?
Yeah.
Then you put it out there on the socials, huh? And then you were driving 80 miles an hour wearing Travis Kelce's baseball cap.
Now, I'm guessing there is a guy back in Chile who is the ringleader of all this.
The smart one.
And these 7 dopes, he's probably hoping they don't say his name, but he's back in Chile going, how do these guys do this dumb? How are you this dumb?
Idiots. I showed you where to go, how to do it. You're making millions, and you idiots can't drive your car.
Que estúpido.
And you're taking pictures and putting them out on the socials wearing their gear.
Los desgraciados.
And you don't look like Kansas City
desgraciados
Chiefs fans. You just don't look it.
No, they don't have the look. You don't have the look of a Milwaukee Bucks fan.
Well, you shouldn't have a Messi jersey on at the time you're holding up a Travis Kelce shirt.
Are you from Cincinnati? Like, I get you're a Joe Burrow fan, but do you have to have a diamond-encrusted Joey B medallion? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Don't you go to LSU? See? Yes.
Sue. All right, we'll be back. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Rox Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rox the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rox has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rox know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit roxdiscountvitamins.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Well, Joel, it's my favourite time of the year. It's rodeo time, and I've got the best quarter moon marketing idea ever. It's all about branding. So I've got this.
It's called a branding iron.
Folks, you don't need a branding iron to remember Quartermoon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. Quartermoon has the expertise, local talent, and fast, reliable service.
So how does the branding iron work?
Well, are those new pants?
Yes. Why?
Turn around.
Turn around mine.
Quartermoon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899.
License number M16004. TACLA 141074E.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hola, mi esposo se lastimó en un accidente ayer. ¿Me puede ayudar?
Claro que sí. Estamos aquí para servirle.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7. Our team of Texas attorneys has been helping people injured in car, truck, or 18-wheeler wrecks for more than 25 years. And there's no fee unless we win. Y hablamos español. If you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
San Antonio, get ready. Cody Canada and The Departed are bringing their high-energy red dirt, alt country, and rock and roll to Sable Hall at the Pearl on Saturday, February 22nd. Doors open at 7 p.m. Grab your tickets now at sablehall.com before they're gone. Cody Canada and The Departed live at Sable Hall, February 22nd. Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sports book, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com and join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your commute definitely filling in. 151 eastbound Hunt Lane accident left lane. I-10 westbound Ralph Fair. That wreck is also taking up a left lane. We've got a stall at 90 westbound at Military Drive, right lane blocked. Downtown, this ongoing road work causing delays. 35 lower level southbound from Main on down to Cesar Chavez. And 35 northbound at Alamo. That wreck now off to the right shoulder. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
San Antonio Sports Center.
NFL turning to league business has rescinded Texans running back Joe Mixon's $25,000 fine on appeal for supposed post-game comments in the divisional round of the playoffs. The numbers are in for the Super Bowl, and Nielsen says that the Eagles-Chief game set a new record with 182.8 million viewers that's now including the streaming numbers. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1. There's been some discussion about Travis Hunter, where he's going to play in the NFL. I ran across that. And it looks now initially he was listed at the combine as a defensive back.
Not cornerback, right?
Cornerback. At the combine they group you DB, LB, DL. So he's a DB. But now they're saying he will have a chance to work out with some of the wide receivers. But it does look like his intention is for the most part
cornerback,
to be a cornerback.
Cornerback, kick returner.
I would guess.
Third down.
Although, listen, dude, you draft a guy in the top 5, do you put him out there on special teams?
I don't know.
That's pretty rare.
If you're going to draft, is he the best cornerback in the draft?
No.
See, if you're not going to draft the best cornerback, but the one that has the most tools in his belt, then maybe he better be returning kicks, or you shouldn't draft him. I'll tell you what, whoever drafts Travis Hunter will probably, as far as general manager, might be out of a job in a couple years.
I tend to think so, too.
It just doesn't seem – the thing is, he's just good enough. He's just good enough, but not great. And that's just not what you draft. Two goods don't make a great.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have Will Johnson than him. I'd probably rather have Jahdae Barron than him. If we're talking about just as a corner, like that's your only job is to be a corner, I'd probably take those guys. I get the appeal. He is a great athlete. But it is.
I think you squeeze the sponge, man.
You're almost drafting a star more than you are a football player.
Yeah, and I think I'm playing him on both sides of the ball. I think he's going to play 50 snaps a game.
You're going to have a 5-year career for him.
Probably,
and I'm burning your ass out.
But the thing is, that's who you are. That's who you presented yourself to me as. I'm using you as you wanted me to use you,
But I just don't think it's physically possible, though. I mean,
I didn't think it was possible to play 100 snaps in a football game, and he did it every week. So, granted, it's not the same, but it's kind of the same. I mean, it's 80% of that. So, yeah. I feel like he is a rich team's blessing. Like at 25, I'm a nearly playoff team, or I'm a playoff team, and I can draft a guy that's good at several positions. I am all over that.
Sure.
But if I'm terrible and I need a cornerback or I need a wide receiver, I'm not going to draft 75% of both.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem to fit for me.
I will say this. I think if he is kind of focusing on cornerback, I think that's the right call because I think he's a lot better as a corner than he is as a wide receiver.
I know he's got ball hawk skills. I like it, but just not for me, man. Good luck with him.
I'm with you. It's not something I would be looking to draft into, but it is.
Who knows?
And again, they're going to let him work out for both. So if a team's interested in him doing one or the other, it's hard for me to imagine that there are teams who legitimately think he could do both at the NFL level. But
you can't until you can. You know, you couldn't before Bo,
and
and then he didn't. Now nobody's done anything like that since, but I guess it's possible.
It's just asking a lot, dude. And you know what? Like if you told me there's value in a guy who is your cornerback, but if your receiver gets injured and you've got depth at cornerback and you need him to switch, that's nice.
That helps.
But the idea that he can be a Shohei Ohtani, I really think it's just physically impossible at the NFL level.
I agree.
And again, maybe he'll prove me wrong and I'll have egg on my face, but I don't
imagine we will. I think there'll be flashes. I would say it's eminently possible that he could have an interception and a touchdown in a game, and maybe more than once. But it's not worth the squeeze isn't worth the reach. It's just too high of a guy to deal with that.
Speaking of Travis Hunter, his head coach in college is a fellow you may have heard of named Deion Sanders, and he just wrapped up another recruiting season up in Colorado, and he did something for the second consecutive year that is certainly unusual for his position. He made 0 in-home visits to recruits, 0 off-campus visits to high schools. So basically, he isn't, when you think of Deion hitting the recruiting trail, he ain't doing that. Now, somehow, the results on the field got a lot better last year. The talent in the building on the roster has certainly gotten better. His contract includes a $200,000 annual budget for private air travel for recruiting, which, good news if you're Colorado, it's like, hey, yeah, you're saving us.
Well, is he using the plane?
No.
But just not for recruiting?
Nope.
Or is he just not using the plane?
I'm sure he's using the plane, but he's got an allocation of that plane that he's not using. So Colorado's like, well, there's money in our pocket. That's nice. But he's saying he's got a weekly talk show on Tubi that helps him to reach his recruits that way.
Have you seen this thing? That's not a football. This is a lifestyle, husbands and wives and stuff kind of thing.
He said, that's how I recruit. I don't go to nobody's school or nobody's house. I'm not doing that. I'm too old to be going to somebody's school or somebody's house. All the kids that I'm recruiting, as a matter of fact, they're in the portal. They're grown men with kids. They don't need me to come around their crib and try to convince them to play for me. Nah. And
that's not a sustainable way to go about it. But right now he can.
It's not a way to go about it if you're not named Deion Sanders.
Right now he can because his name's front and center.
Jeff Traylor can't do that.
The moment his name is not in the news, the moment that talk show gets canceled, and it's gonna, the moment that starts to happen, and his prime competition, I don't know who that is, Texas, I guess, not even Texas. I mean, somebody in Texas starts showing up you just can't live like that. But I will say this, Belichick ain't going to be hitting any houses. I don't think he's going to be closing deals at somebody's living room. I think guys like Deion, you know exactly what you're getting. You don't need to be shined on by him.
Okay, here's the question, though. Do you now, when I say the recruiting budget, like the travel, like he's not sending his coordinators out to these houses either. So that's like Colorado as a school is not recruiting that way. I agree Bill Belichick's not going to be sitting in living rooms, but my guess is he's got coordinators and D-line coaches and quarterbacks coaches who will be sitting in living rooms. I kind of
assumed that he did have people in high schools, but
no, Deion's not doing it. He's not doing any of that.
He's going the portal method, and it's not it's fun. It's just not sustainable. You have 2 bad years, you get fired. And a bad year happens with one decommit. When you're only bringing in transfers, and what sustains programs ain't the 5 stars. It's the hyper-successful 3 stars that you did go into the living room, that you did go get at the last minute, that you did. Those are the ones that sustain programs. I mean, a 5-star landing in Colorado, that ain't that big a deal. I'm going to go play for Deion. Is the slightly recruited, the overly talented 3-star landing at Colorado because you don't even know him. Yeah. So I think to sustain a program, it's not an effective way to do it, but that's just not his plan.
His class this year, which is ranked 27th, includes 18 transfers, 14 high school kids. So somehow he's still getting high school kids to show up.
Well, yeah.
But if they want to come, you come meet me on campus. Like you take an on-campus visit. We'll sit down and talk. We'll see if you're fit.
We'll pay you to fly out here. Yeah, that might be the modern method. It's just not the way that I think a lot of the kids that grow up want to be treated well. I want to be wined and dined. I want you to come to my house and tell me how good I am. And I want my friends to know you're in my driveway. And I want my friends and all of my teammates to see the coach come to my game. I want all that. And if you're not going to do that, there's a lot of coaches that will. So I think it's to his detriment. I get his arrogance because he is pulling a class in the top 30 doing absolutely nothing but wearing blender sunglasses and doing a talk show. But it's just, at the end of the day, that'll be the reason he leaves.
It says here, so the 0 recruiting visits, like when you over the time that he's been at Colorado, to put that in comparison or to contrast it, I suppose, Brian Kelly in that same time, December 2022 to this last February, made 257 off-campus recruiting contacts, including 46 home visits, Matt Rule made 486 off-campus contacts. Nick Saban, I mean, he was famously like in people's houses all the time, and it was his way of like saying, "This is my territory."
Yes, and it was more than just the player. It was the high school. It was the town. Nick's here.
Now, he also not everybody has guys whose even their underlings are well, like Warren Sapp and Marshall Falk are. You got 3 Hall of Famers on your staff. It
helps.
Yeah.
Would you, if you were a stud, would you pick Colorado?
No.
I'm not sure I would.
I mean, there's certain appeal to playing there. I mean, it's a beautiful place. It is like of all the places when I was covering the Big 12, of all the places I went, it was by far my favorite Big 12 trip.
Phenomenal town,
by far.
But I get the type of player he wants. I kind of feel like this. Remember when Tony Romo? This act like this is a long time ago. When Romo first started doing TV, he was so still in the game that he could describe what was going to happen ahead of time because he'd been. I think Deion, the further he gets away from coaching his kids, the less plugged in he's going to be, and he can't rely on just being Deion.
I think he cares a lot right now because he wanted to get into this because it gave him a chance to coach his son. Now that Shedeur is going to be in the NFL and his surrogate son, Travis, is going to be in the NFL, I think he's going to be way less interested. I think I don't think Deion has a passion for coaching college football. I think Deion has a passion for seeing his kids succeed, which is it's very admirable in its own way. It's just it's not great for you if you're not one of his kids and you're at that program.
I want to see what it looks like in a year or two.
I do too.
I think he's having fun, and I think he likes being front and center all the time, and that football gig gave him the talk show, and the talk show is helping to recruit. But sooner or later, the piper's going to call, and there's going to have to be some proof in there. You're going to have to win, and you have to justify the money, and the ticket sales, they drop, and suddenly you're not getting paid as much because his salary, unlike any other coach in all the college football, is reliant on ticket sales. That's how they got him in. So if they, for one year, don't sell out, suddenly Deion isn't getting paid.
Right.
I just don't see how it can be sustaining, especially when I hear he's not out recruiting and trying to build for 3 years from now.
And now Claymore, who's clearly a defender, and who knows? I mean, this is all conjecture. It's us thinking what is going to happen. But saying he has a strategy and it's working, check the wins and losses. It's convenient how you forget that his first year in the Pac-12, he went 1-8. Like, yeah, he had a good year last year because he had 2 players that are going to get drafted in the top 10. What happens next year when those 2 players are gone? And by the way, those are the 2. It's his son and the prize that
he's had in his house since he was 8.
Right. Yeah. So what happens next year when those guys are gone?
I just don't think it's a sustainable model. But I don't think Colorado got into this thinking Deion was going to be a long-term dude.
I don't think
Colorado's
so
gotten everything they could have dreamed of out of this. And I think Deion's going to squeeze it as well. And eventually 2 wins is miserable for everybody, and he'll just find another place to go.
And again, last year exceeded my expectations, certainly. And kudos to them for putting it together.
And let's not take away, he has won everywhere he's been. I mean, hadn't been a lot of places, but when he was in high school, that team was a national power.
But who's been there with him?
Right. And now, he takes his kids to the next level and they win there, and he takes them to the next level and they win there. Now they're gone. There's still kids that want to play for Deion. There's guys that want to live the Deion lifestyle, and he will pull those guys. But those are the same dudes that you brought in the portal that will be gone as quick as anything. They're mercenaries too. And they'll be gone because you didn't build a relationship with them. There were a name and a number that showed up on campus the first day of practice. You didn't know who they were.
No, for sure. But I do think once those 2 kids are gone, I think we're going to see a real difference. And Claymore's like, yeah, he didn't. Claymore says, what happens when he wins without Hunter and Shedeur?
Well,
what happens if he doesn't, Claymore? Are you going to come in here and admit that he's a huckster and a fraud? What will you say if he doesn't win? That's the thing. Like, so you're putting and I'm in a position where I will have to say, wow, you know what? Deion proved me wrong. He's in here winning without those two kids. What are you going to say if he doesn't? Because he's never proven that he can. He's never proven that he can win without those kids. He's proven he can win with those two kids. And it's just like the Belichick-Brady argument. Right. Like, what do you say? I mean, there were people immediately jumped on Bill Belichick as soon as Tom Brady was gone because it went into the dumps. And it doesn't take away from the fact that Bill Belichick was able to win those Super Bowls with Tom Brady. Banners stay hanging up in the building. He's still got the rings to prove it. Nobody's ever going to question his legacy. But at the end of the day, Bill Belichick's not coaching in the NFL anymore.
Nope. And Tom's biggest thing since, and we could say that about every coach. Players make coaches. I mean, that's just how it works. You don't win. I'll say it again. Jimmys and Joes beat X's and O's 9 times out of 10. They just do. I mean, better guys beat worser guys. And you got to get more better guys than worser guys. And if you don't do that, you end up losing. And if you're using the worser guys, they better be a hell of a team. And they better trust, and that's not what he's building. I mean, he's not building a bunch of 3 stars that, the Junction Boys, we're going to win because it's for my brother. No, he's bringing in guys, we win because I succeed. And if I'm not succeeding and we don't win, I'm leaving. That's just not how you sustain a program. That's why Nick Saban left, because that Colorado thing is going to be at every school. There's just no unity. There's no continuity for a program.
Clay, why are we penalizing Deion for coaching his son? Who's penalizing?
Nobody's penalizing him.
Who penalizes Belichick for coaching Brady? Who penalizes Phil Jackson for coaching Jordan and Kobe?
Claymore, you have to admit, if you were a Buffalo fan and you had contributed money to that $200,000 recruiting budget, which he has, and you go, okay, we just lost 2 first-round draft picks. Who did we go sit in living rooms to replace them with? Oh, you didn't do that? Oh, you used your talk show to do your recruiting. Oh, and you hired Marshall Faulk and Warren Sapp to kind of do. Oh, they didn't do it either. Oh, I'm happy. Oh, this is going to be great. Claymore, don't make excuses for this. This is not a recipe for success. It might succeed, but it'll be despite the way they did it. This is not how you sustain and build programs. It's just not.
And Gary say, I hope to see Belichick receive the same type of scrutiny Deion is seeing.
Oh, he will. Trust me.
He already has. He got scrutinized as soon as Brady was gone and won, and he wasn't winning.
But at least Belichick isn't out there bragging, I don't do this and I don't do that. Those are the guys that suffer. Remember when old ball coach went to the Washington Redskins then, the commander said, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to coach from 8 to 5, and at 5:30 I'm going home. I'm a great coach. I don't need 12 hours a day to coach.
Okay.
I've been doing this a long time. How long did that last?
A year and a half?
If it lasted a year and a half, and it was a failure from the moment it stepped out. So you can't tell me how great any coach is. If Nick Saban, you name your favorite coach, said, you know what, I'm no longer recruiting. I'm going to do a talk show and just rest on my laurels.
Well, and also, listen, man, anytime you're hiring a celebrity coach, we talked about Doug Gottlieb. Now, I think Deion has a...
There's a photo negative effect. He's the total opposite of Gottlieb. But, yeah, I get it.
But Deion has a swagger and a sway that's going to bring kids that Doug Gottlieb could never even consider getting. But if coaching isn't your full-time life dedication, which, I don't know if it is with Deion. I think Deion's way more concerned about being a dad than a coach. And, again, that's not a knock.
Well, I think he's a good coach. If he's a good coach. I mean, everywhere he's been, his guys got better.
I think Deion's a really good recruiter.
He's not even that. He's a magnet, not a recruiter.
That's the word. Yeah, I think Deion draws great talent.
He's a magnet, but eventually
he's got 2 generational dudes that he brought to a school that hasn't had a player of their caliber in 20 years,
at least.
And I want to see what it's like when those 2 guys are gone.
But those that say bash Belichick, don't worry. There's plenty of room to bash Belichick. We just haven't had a chance yet.
He's had it. All right, let's hit a break. We'll be back. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
How you feeling today? I hope you woke up, looked in the mirror, and said, man, I look fantastic. This is exactly the body type I wanted. I put in the effort, and look at me now. I'm buttoned up and headed out. That's you. Carry on and keep it to yourself. That's not like the rest of us. If you woke up this morning feeling like you did the day before, tired, finding clothes that can fit, but they're not really fitting, if you know what I mean, You're hungry, chasing that caffeine, go grab some sugar and charge out the day and just try to maintain that barely functioning furnace of a body till you get home and you're tired all day long. And then for some reason late in the evening, you get a little bit of energy, just enough to go eating something bad for you. Then you get a little indigestion, you're up late, and then you start the whole process over again. And before you know it, you weigh 300 pounds. That was me. And then I met Dr. Jacob Torres. And he convinced me that little things, little changes added up make big differences. And once you start to accept the fact that you can change your life with little changes, then you start getting on a program that you can live with. 8 years later, I'm down 80 pounds, and I continue to work on a program that I am going to be on for life. Dr. Torres is my doctor. Started as a weight loss a weight loss doctor that became my full-time physician. You know why? Because he cares about me and he cares about his patients like none other. If you're ready to lose weight and you need a little bit of help above and beyond a shot that you take every day, you want to live with something, I want you to call Dr. Torres today. Here's the number, 210-468-1891. Now, his website is iffhealth.com. You owe it to yourself to go there. Read what he has to say, take the test, and answer the questions honestly. If it's time to lose weight, I want you to call Dr. Torres today. Change your life, and when you do, bring your skinny self over and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We do have a few trouble spots as you head into your midday commute. Let's start on 90 westbound at Military. That's a stall right lane. I-10 westbound Wurzbach, northwest side of town. That's a stall. Right lane blocked. On I-10 westbound at Huebner, an accident, right lane blocked. And in Leon Springs on I-10 eastbound between Dietz Elkhorn Road over to Dominion, we now have all main lanes closed. This wreck involving an overturned 18-wheeler. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
M-Sculpt NEO is a non-invasive, muscle-building, fat-burning procedure with no downtime, like doing 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. Call Dr. Connie Hires Plastic Surgery and Med Spa, 210-494-8446, or findyourbeautiful.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
The hard water coming in and out of your home is like a rodeo. There's a lot happening, and a lot can go wrong, like having a tea party during a bull riding event.
Excuse me, would you please pass the sugar?
Now that's hard. At the same time, those that know have a Kinetico quality water softener and enjoy smooth, soft, pure, clean water. It just makes everything better.
That's a nice bull. You want some cake?
If If you don't have a Kinetico water softener in your home, you're basically inviting destructive hard water to beat up your appliances, your hot water heater, and every pipe in your home. And your coffee maker, hard water damages it too.
For limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink, $400 off with trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Kinetico of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
Don't live in a hard water rodeo.
Ooh, he looks mad. Call 656-PURE, Kinetico.
License number 38961.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you ever scroll through social media only to find yourself bombarded by bad news, hot takes, picture-perfect families, and yet another humbling professional update? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing, but imagine how you would feel if you spent 45 minutes focused on how you are doing. At Cerebral, they make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. The best part, Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. In fact, 72% of people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. Cerebral makes mental health care easy, accessible, and more affordable. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs, and just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important, and Cerebral is here to help you build a strong foundation on your overall well-being. Take that first step today. Go to Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for Mind Time.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
But yes, I had a very nice Valentine's Day. Nice dinner.
Everything worked out okay?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I can't say the same.
No?
No. I had an 8 o'clock reservation.
Uh-huh.
Get there, crazy busy. They felt about 45 minutes to an hour if you're lucky, the hostess said.
Really?
I was like, well, I have a reservation. It's more of a suggestion this time of year.
I know why we have reservations.
I don't think you do.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
All right. So Juan says, is Kalen DeBoer struggling as a head coach at Alabama?
Is he struggling?
Kalen DeBoer went 9-4 in year one at Alabama, and there's petitions online to put together money to get him fired.
Well, you never want to be the guy to replace the guy. That
It's a lot easier to replace Carl Durrell than it is to replace Nick Saban. And mind you, Kalen DeBoer has a much longer track record of success than Dion does.
Oh my gosh!
And the pressure on him, I mean, dude, yeah.
DeBoer's coached hundreds of more football games.
You don't think that that people are saying DeBoer is struggling at Alabama? And mind you, DeBoer is playing with none of the guys that he picked to play with. He all these guys, and don't get me wrong,
they're good guys.
He's got good guys. They're not the guys that he put in place. Dion showed up and he threw everybody out and brought. See ya. You're gone. I'm
to compare.
Anyway, now certainly the expectations are different. No, I would say that DeBoer did not have an ideal first season at Alabama. When you win 9 games at Alabama, that ain't the standard there.
No.
But do I think DeBoer, I've just seen DeBoer coach at a bunch of different places, and everywhere I've seen him, no matter who his quarterback and wide receiver one have been, he's won. I don't know if Kalen DeBoer is right for this job. I do think that Rob calls it the Peter principle. I think that everybody moves up until you find out that you're not built for that job, and then you suddenly fall back to the pack.
Promoted to the level of your incompetence.
This may be it for Kalen DeBoer. Like Kalen DeBoer might not be a good enough coach to coach at Alabama, and you know what? That's no knock.
I mean, you're following a legend no matter how good you do, unless you do it for 25 years like the previous dude did. You're always going to be looked at second. I don't know about DeBoer's either, but I can tell you this. If Deion would have landed at Alabama and DeBoer's would have landed at Colorado, I can tell you who'd have won more games without any hesitation. And I would tell you that if they'd have played each other, given equal talent, that I like DeBoer as a coach. Not just because he's a better individual coach, but because he's been doing it longer. There's more to it than just being a face to a franchise. There is more than the playing, the calling of the plays. There is a lot that goes into winning in college football. And the coach, while being the most obvious part of it, apart from the players, it's the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that goes into it.
Yeah.
I mean, the secretary, the way that your helmets are, all those things go into winning on a regular basis. All of it matters. And I don't think that I don't think he's cutting corners. I just think he's choosing to focus on areas that most coaches don't have the wherewithal to. Most coaches couldn't come out and say, I'm not traveling. I'm not recruiting. I think a lot of them would like to be able to say that, but they know at the end of the day, that's not how you win.
Right.
So I just don't think that given this day and age that there's any other place that Deion could even be remotely successful other than the place he is, because they've allowed him to do what he's doing.
And Claymore, I think it's also important to remember this. He's saying the praise for Deion won't be as loud from these guys. The praise when Deion does well, remember, Deion got a bunch of pre-praise. Deion was the man before he did a thing. Colorado win total was set at 9.5 his first year. Deion was the man.
I want him to win as much as I want him to lose. I just want him to stay relevant, whether that's losing or winning. Keep doing whatever you're doing,
Agreed.
But do all of it.
But also know that Deion's successes and his failures will be amplified, and that's his own doing. Who'd you hear more about this year, Deion or Curt Cignetti? Which, by the way, so Curt Cignetti went to a 3-9 program that won one game in the Big Ten a year ago. Took them to the playoff, took them to the National Football Playoff from the Big Ten in year one. He didn't have the 1-8 Big 12 season that Deion did. And who's a bigger name? It's still Deion. Like Deion still, and he's probably still out recruiting Curt Cignetti. So like, if you have to accept that with the scrutiny and the criticism that Deion gets, it's because he's got so many advantages already. Like he gets extra praise, but he's going to take extra heat too.
And there's guys that Deion would get that Cignetti will never get. Never. Cignetti might not want them, but there's guys of a certain type that will never go play at Indiana. I don't care how much Cignetti offers money and all that, but they'll go play in Colorado for Deion because they know that Deion is a magnifying glass. That if you get behind it, you will be blown up, and at the same time, you might be exposed, but at the same time, you want all of that as you're building your brand. And if I'm a brand-building young football player, Colorado's on the top 5 of my list. If I feel like, and I'm lead myself to believe, whether it's right or not, that I'm an NFL player, going and playing for Deion and walking around with Warren Sapp and Marshall Faulk, that's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
But I would also, there's only a few guys that can go there and sustain and be successful in that environment because you got to be motivated.
And yes, we would still scrutinize Deion more than DeBoer if roles were switched. Why? Because Deion is the story. Kalen DeBoer's not a story.
Well, there's not guys at Colorado who are going to set fire to something because Deion's still. The passion out of Alabama is times 10.
But
you know
also,
what I mean?
But you know what? Also, if Kalen DeBoer showed up and kicked everybody who was on Alabama off the team and said, I'm starting from scratch, I mean, he'd open himself up for quite a bit of scrutiny, friend. Like, you can't act like Deion. Like, you're right. Deion not doing it the traditional way is certainly opening him up to scrutiny. It does. Like anytime you're a trailblazer, it opens you up to scrutiny. Going in and wiping out your roster and saying you don't play here anymore, beat it. Not doing these recruits to homes. Those are different things, certainly. And when you do things differently, it opens you up to scrutiny. Now, could there be success? Sure. Your successes and your failures will be magnified. Here's a great example of that. It goes way beyond sports. Our current president, it had very little political experience before he got office. Any successes he's had, there are people who will shout them from the rooftops. Any failures he has, there will be people shouting from the rooftops. That is the life that he's chosen. And you know what? For better or worse, he's the story.
Yep. And
he is the story.
And Deion wants it. He's going to be front and center, and he will be until he's gone. And you just get the sense, if you were a betting man, who's going to be coaching longer? And since DeBoer's the guy, both basically have been there 1 year longer for Deion. But who's going to be there longer? Who's going to survive longer, Deion or DeBoer's?
Deion can be at Colorado as long as Deion wants to be at Colorado.
I get that sense, where DeBoer's better do something the next 2 years or he's done.
Yeah, Colorado just had their most successful season in 20 years. Kalen DeBoer just had a year after 1 year at Alabama, a year after he played for a national championship, mind you. He played in the national title game 1 year ago. They want him fired.
Yeah. So I think Kalen would love to live Deion's life.
Yeah. Like, and that's just the way it is. Like, if you have a certain name, for instance, if Marco Rubio were the president of the United States right now, there would be a lot less talk about Marco Rubio's policy choices than there is about Trump's.
Probably.
That is what it is. Yeah. Like, superstars get more attention. And Deion was a superstar before he got into coaching. And that's the game, friend. You're going to be scrutinized, and you're going to get your flowers. Because trust me, Claymore, I don't see you standing up here for any other coaches who went 8-4 this year saying, "Oh, they're great."
Well, that's all.
Because no one does.
And Colorado only needs 8 wins to be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, you were at a bowl game in Colorado, and we got 2 national TV games, and we got a guy that was mentioned in a Heisman. How much more can we pay you, Deion? Because, I mean, the national title is such a distant kind of.
Oh, that's not even a reality.
There. Yeah.
But we sat at the Alamo Bowl, and we watched Colorado get their ass whooped, and we watched Shedeur and Travis Hunter yelling at each other on the field because they weren't on the same page. They were unprepared. They didn't belong in that game, and I knew there were going to be. I could go to Twitter and I could tell you exactly what I was going to read. Colorado they don't belong on this level. Shedeur is not ready. Blah blah blah. And the other side is going to be how Colorado's in this bowl game. It's a huge success. Again, both sides are going to shout from the rooftop. That is what it is.
I think Colorado would like to make a little bit of money on the athletic program, win enough games to stay relevant, and that's it. That's really all. If we do that, you'll stay employed here forever, Deion.
Yep.
I mean, we win 8 games, go to a bowl game, contend for a Big 12 title every couple of years, and put a Heisman candidate out there. You are golden.
And you're right, Claymore. DeBoer does have the transfer portal at his disposal, and he's already using it. But here's the reality. There's a lot of guys who went to Alabama, top-tier talent in the country, who went to Alabama to play for Nick Saban, and when he left, they were going to go somewhere else.
And they stayed.
Colorado, do you think there was a player at Colorado when Deion showed up who left voluntarily? Not one. Not one of those guys stood up and said, "I'm not going to play for this guy. I didn't come here to play for him. I came here to play for," nobody said that.
And then
that's the difference, is the expectations.
One last problem. The portal is his success.
It is.
The portal's about to be altered. Every other college coach hates this. They're gonna fix the transfer portal. What he has benefited by is going to be eliminated. Something that has. They're going to eliminate the ability for players to jump so quickly, and Deion has capitalized on that. And if that's your lifeblood, I can tell you in the next year or two, it's going to dry up. Now, this transfer is still going to be a thing. That's not going away. But how quickly and how to
often,
and where is really going to make a change. And that's where Deion might have to adjust his recruiting process, because it's not going to be so easy to leave.
All right, Vic's yelling at me. Let's take our last break. When we come back, we'll do the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
This sandwich is not just spicy, it's flavorful. Hi, this is Patayo. And this is Elsa. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick. Because the spice comes in at just the right moment. Oh, no. A little thing I love is that cilantro lime sauce. It's a fun blend of zesty and bold. That's what really makes me happy. Are you going to eat all your fries?
Order a Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
That guy pulled out in front of me out of nowhere. The police are on their way, but I'm really shaken up.
Don't worry. We're going to get you taken care of. You made the right call.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you've been hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck, call Davis Law Firm at 444-4444. We're ready to help day or night, and there's no fee unless we win.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson from my good friends over at Prize Picks. Hoops are here, baby. It's time to turn the page and start playing games we can win. And now you can win up to 1,000 times your money over on Prize Picks just for doing what you love, watching basketball and picking those that you like. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on sports action. There's over 10 million of us doing it. You should be there too. And right now, there's no better time to get in on the hoops action. If you think Steph Curry can get more than 5 3-pointers this week, now's the time. Is the freak going to get 35? I don't know. I do know this. I feel comfortable Wemby's going to get a couple of blocks. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5, and you don't even need to win. You can receive a $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And have you ever played Taco Tuesday? That's right. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks offers promotions that can lead to big payouts. Here's how you play. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app, use the code ALAMO, and get $50 instantly after you play your first lineup. Prize Picks. Go run your game.
George gets justice. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we are the ones you can trust. With over 100 years of combined experience, we are committed to helping people in our local community. Get George Salinas Injury Lawyers and put our experience to work for you and your case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Rob and I are going to a U2 tribute band.
Blood Red Sky, baby.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
You want to go, Vic?
Nah, I don't go anywhere.
Why not?
I don't know.
I've got a +1 and I don't have any friends, so if you want to go, you can come with me.
When is this?
Next Saturday.
Is that when it is?
Yeah, not this coming Saturday, but the next one. Where's it at?
Sam's Burger Joint.
Sam's Burger Joint.
Fine locale.
It's a free ticket, Vic. I mean, what's the harm? You come out, you ain't got anything going else on a Saturday. Just come on, man. Come out and have a good time. You can sit around and drink a sparkling water or whatever the hell you drink. I don't know.
Vodka and water.
Yeah, smoke a doobie. I don't know what you do. I don't know how you have a good time, but enjoy a rock and roll show, and that way I'll have someone to talk to.
Right.
While I'm singing and dancing.
While you're singing
and then Rob's going to look over at me and say, "Hey, can you stop talking? Trying to enjoy the show.
This is a concert. This is not a party.
I'm not here to hear you. I'm here to hear Bono.
Or somebody who kind of sounds like him.
Bono.
You don't see me talking loud when Bono's playing, do you?
Bono's up.
Yeah.
Try and keep it down, will you? Oh, I'll never forget. At the Sphere, that dude looked at me and he was like, "Hey, can you keep it down? I'm trying to watch the show." This dude was willing to get his ass whooped over a U2 concert. I was like,
"Oh, no.
And I'm a little bit drunk and a little bit high, and I said, "Friend,
yeah,
you really trying to have me beat you up in front of your wife over a rock show? You better just turn around and watch your concert. Don't come trying to puff up on me, pal."
Was it some big white dude? Or
No,
what?
he was like somebody looked like Pledger size.
Really?
Yes.
He loved U2.
He loved U2 to the point that it was like worth it to him to get beat up in front of his wife, because he came to me like his fists like in gorilla mode, like where they're like,
this is U2 as well.
No,
it's like getting in a fight at church.
Knuckles pointed at me and kind of head leaning forward like, "Hey."
Yeah.
And it's like,
did you just stand over him and?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, are you out of your mind?
First of all, this is U2. There's no fights at a U2 show.
There was about to be.
There was about to be. Your head is in the wrong place, brother.
In the Sphere?
In the Sphere, yeah.
You're in the wrong place. This is peace, love, and harmony.
I was like, dude, you paid a lot of money for these tickets to come in here
get
and
thrown out.
Get your ass whooped in front of your wife and Bono. They're all going to see it.
No more.
The Edge would see it. The Edge. Can you imagine?
Man.
They would have gone back in their dressing room and said, "Oh, can you believe what we saw out there?
Adam Clayton.
It's a crime."
Would have looked down on you.
It was
Oh, it's just a shame what's happening in our world today.
Say a little prayer for you.
It's just a shame what the world's come to.
Don't diss.
Bono.
Bono.
That's
a great man.
All right, let's take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
Well, there is one NBA game today. Only one.
Oh,
There was only one. Yeah, tomorrow will be in full swing, right? The Hornets are at the Lakers. The Lakers are 12-point favorites in the matchup
They're
tonight.
going to be fun to watch over the next month.
They are going to be.
It's going to be a very interesting kind of bystanderish kind of thing.
Now, my concern with laying 12 points with the Lakers is LeBron didn't play in the All-Star game. He's got like some kind of foot issue. I don't know what's going on. I don't really want to lay it not knowing if, the Lakers.
They got that other guy, though.
Yeah, it's one guy, though.
They got Luka.
They don't have a lot of depth around that team, as we know. You kind of need both those guys on the floor to feel like they're at full power.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. Here's something I learned last night. I went 0-3 betting college basketball last night. I got my ass kicked. I've been kind of getting my ass kicked this season. And the truth is, last night I bet on 3 road teams. And only one of them was favored, and they were only favored by 1, and it was Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech, I think Virginia Tech might have scored 11 points in the first half. Like it was one of the most pathetic showings imaginable. And I think what I've decided is, especially after our talk today, I think I'm done betting on road teams. I think I'm just going to I'm going to find a reason to not bet on those or just say, okay, I'm wiping that off from my options. I can't bet on road teams. What home teams am I interested in? I think that might be the way to go from now on.
For the next 2 weeks, at least for the next week. It makes some sense because we've said it all day that now conferences are making the turn. You're coming back and you're swimming against the stream. You've played everybody already. Everybody knows who you are. And that second one, if you've already beaten them, is that much more difficult. Yeah, I expect a lot of not upsets. These aren't upsets. Like Mississippi State being A&M last night looks like an upset. It wasn't.
I mean, they were 2.5-point favorites. Mississippi State was.
Conference road game. So there's going to be some losses in there. I know I wouldn't stick my nose into most of those road games. No.
Well, there's 4 games in the top 25 tonight, and on paper, I wanted to bet 2 road teams. And I've already decided I'm throwing them out.
There's still some that are good for a reason.
Okay. And there's 3 games in the SEC in the top 25 tonight. Vandy is at Kentucky.
That's not one of them.
That's one of the ones I wanted to bet. I wanted to bet Vandy plus 4.5.
Kentucky shoots, they beat anybody.
Kentucky's a very middle-of-the-road SEC team that gets a lot of hype. They're 6-6 in the conference. I don't think they're all that good. They suck on defense.
Well, they've beaten good teams and lost to bad teams. I don't know what kind of team they are.
So Vandy catching 4.5, not a lot of travel. I was like, I'm tempted. I'm sitting out. Arkansas is at Auburn. Auburn minus 16.5. I would never in a million years bet against Auburn at home anyway, so I wasn't worried about that one. Yeah, I don't bet against Auburn at home, period. That's a rule of thumb for me, and I stick by it always. I think they'll probably crush Arkansas tonight.
I was going to say, I don't think 16 is that hard for them to get.
No, I think they can do that. Alabama is at Missouri. Alabama is plus 1.5 at Missouri. I think Alabama is one of the probably 3, maybe 4 best teams in the country. And they're catching 1.5 on the road against a Missouri team that is
previously undefeated at home. A&M went in and beat them over the week, about 6 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago. Missouri's stinging right now. Boy, I wouldn't want to play them.
I'm not going to. In my mind, I'm like, I got to.
Alabama should beat them by 5. They're 5-10 point better as a team, but on the road in Missouri, no.
But you know what? Alabama just came off a loss. They lost to Auburn, and Alabama has lost 1 game on the road this year, and that was at Purdue, and that was November 15th.
And that's a tough place to play, too. They should win. Nate Oates has a team that should go into Missouri and beat them. They're far better than A&M, but Missouri sees them coming, and they're licking their wounds.
You're right. I'm out. So just be warned. This is a dangerous thing. These home teams, to go against them is a big deal now. Finally, the other one that I was kind of looking at, St. John's at DePaul. St. John's minus 13.5.
I like St. John's, but I don't.
DePaul sucks. 2-13 in conference versus 13-2. I ain't touching it. You can't get me to do it.
Pay attention.
All right, friends. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do this all over again. Same bat time, same bat channel. Blitz coming up at 2. Jason and Joe on your drive home. You guys stay warm out there. Morning Huddle 94.1.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
With basketball season in full swing, make watching the game a little bit more exciting with your chance to win money with Underdog, one of the leading sports apps, and you can play in Texas. You could win up to 1,000 times your money with Underdog.